is the Blitz here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM on the go at ESPNSA.com. Thank you so much for dialing us in. Gosh, I missed this. He's Jason Minix. I'm Rob Thompson. Welcome aboard. We are socially distanced as always. James Pledger back at the glass box of fun in the giant one. Wave hello, James. Go jump on our ESPNSA.com page. You'll be able to see our YouTube feed there. We're highly technical and very good at it, I like to say. So how's everybody doing on a good old Monday afternoon? As I feel like I have been in the void for the last, how many shows did I miss? 6? 7
48.
shows? It's been, feels like forever, dudes.
You know, nothing's changed.
Good.
We still don't have an agreement in baseball. We've got basketball with a plan, yet unknown whether or not they're going to go. Lots of things going on in the sports world that have nothing to do with the game.
Well, good. I'm glad everything's back to normal. For those of you that are concerned, thanks for reaching out and thanks for asking. We had a death in our family and spent the last week taking care of business up there in the Metroplex, and I am so glad to be back in San Antonio after what has been a long and trying week. Man, you know, while it seems like nothing has changed, I feel like the world passed me by because I basically went to where time stands still, man. I went to the netherworlds known as Farmers Branch, Texas, and where things just kind of slow to an easy daily crawl. It's like, I don't know, man. I just need to come back. I missed this desperately, and I'm glad we'll get an opportunity to talk some sports as the world continues to spin in my absence.
Well, and it's, you know, nice that you're back with internet and cable television. You know,
can I speak to that real quick?
Sure.
My in-laws, they have a Spectrum, and maybe Spectrum's like this here too, but I don't understand the Spectrum that they have. Why? And again, maybe everybody has this, and I'm on Dish because I live out in the middle of nowhere. Why do you have the same channel like 5 times on your guide?
One of them's HD.
No, not in Farmers Branch, Texas. You go, they have like the same channel will be like channel 11, channel 137, channel 159, channel 222. It's the same channel. And I kept thinking, well, maybe it's like the East Coast feed. No, it's local stuff too. But why would they have the same channel in the guide as you scroll up and down? For the life of me, I can't figure that out.
Yeah, I mean, you have more channels. I don't know if that falls under bait and switch, but, you know, you got 5,000 channels, but 5 of them are the same, you know, and so we're going to give you everyone 5 different ones. So, you know, I think if you're up in the 1100s, you're still going to be able to find that one there. Or if you're down by the 300s, it's still there, too. It's just easier for you. It's convenience, man. And I'm afraid to ask what you were doing to realize that, you know, the same channel on 11 is the same as 137, is the same as 488, as the same as 1274. Because quite frankly, when you have described about the in-laws' house in the past, I thought they had 3 channels still. So the fact that you get one channel 5 times is an upgrade.
Man, you know how bad things are when you realize just that as you brought it up, that you go, oh my God, they have the same channel like 8 times. And like, are you sure you don't want to watch Friends? Keep scrolling. Friends again? Wow, they show up. Wait, it's the same channel. Why is it? And when you hit it, I don't know, man. How much Netflix did you watch? I know you've been watching the 4. Is that how you say that? The Netflix war movie?
The Blood 5.
The Blood 5. Okay, I didn't give him full credit.
Watch. Well, there's 4 at the end. Actually, 3 at the end. If not that I want to spoil it, but you know, one gets blown up, one gets shot. So you know, I thought it was really good. I mean, Netflix has been pushing it, and I'm at the point of this at home. Whatever Netflix tells me is trending in America, I just watch that because. You know, I can spend 30, 40 minutes just trying to find something I want to watch, or I'll just let them tell me. And if I'm 10 minutes in and like it, I'll keep going. I mean, I was so desperate that, you know, I will give her full credit. April Ansira tweeted out the other day that she hadn't laughed that hard in a long time watching Space Force. And I know you have trashed Space Force. And I wanted to watch Space Force until you, Rob Thompson, said, don't watch it. And I'm looking at that cast going, How could this be bad? You were right. You were right. But
was it?
But
I you know what though? I only watched maybe 2 episodes. So if it got funnier later, I hope it did. But the first couple were tough.
And I finished the whole damn thing. Now I was doing other things while it was on. But I binged it on a Saturday afternoon because I was home alone, and there were some parts that I laughed at. But for the most part, Rob, you were right. I when you've got like 7 hours to kill, it should have been funny, and it could have been funnier. And some of the funny, they just tried too hard. But you know what? It's 4 hours you won't get back. But at the same time, it is what it is.
I've watched far worse. Even though I think the reason people just blow it up so much is the expectations. When you see Steve Carell in anything, you think, oh well, this is going to be good. And even if it's better than most, it's still ain't going to be good enough. You're going to blow it up. And I think that's the case. What happened with this, right?
Yeah, more or less. I mean, the expectation certainly didn't meet there. And again, I have two friends. One said they liked it. One said they didn't. And I got to go with you on this one. If I would have picked something else and never saw it, I would have been okay having watched it.
It's one of those. But I find Monty Python funny. So there's a lot of people in the world look at Monty Python and go, yeah, see, that's what it is. Look at Monty Python and go, that's not funny at all. So there's no accounting for humor. Certainly there are people that probably want to see Space Force like April and thoroughly enjoyed it. So I will never make fun of somebody for thinking something's funny when I don't, except for those that enjoyed How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah, I don't get that either. I don't get that either.
That's a little inside joke. I was just picking on James. I don't even know why I did that. That was spiteful. That was spiteful. I don't even know why I did that.
Well, because, man, you've got a week of pent up dealing with what you've been dealing with, and any of us that have gone through that, we understand.
Maybe that's what it is. It's just the pain talking, James. This is the pain talking.
No,
you forget
that was the boredom.
Yeah. It was the pain and the boredom. Hey, before we get lost in the minutia of what happened to me, it appears that the testing for the Dallas Cowboys has taken an odd turn. For those of you unaware, Zeke has the Rona. Yeah, he has tested positive. But how did we know this? How do we find out that Zeke has corona? I know he's certainly curious about it because he says his agent didn't let that news out. And didn't he even tweet the acronym HIPAA? Yeah, very interesting. Players for both the Texans and the Cowboys have tested positive as we go into this new opening stage and as teams are looking at how they can get together to practice again. We knew this was coming, but how are we going to react when stars suddenly test positive? Zeke has it. Let's talk about that. And when we at 4:30, we're going to talk a little bit about the state of Curtin social affairs. Mike Gundy in his T-shirt might have landed himself in some hot water. J.J. Watt and Baker Mayfield let us know exactly where they stand. You have to wear the ribbon. We'll get into that at 4:30 as well. But let's talk some sports and the potential therein as Zeke is sick. At least he's positive with the Rona. How's it going to affect the rest of the league as we try to get back into some practice? Hang around. We're going to talk about it next. You're on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
As we see more and more cases of the corona, you got to wear your mask. And if you need a mask, you'll go see Sam over at Sammy's Embroidery Club on San Pedro. Sam has your mask. He has the surgical medical masks that are certified and FDA, CDC approved. So if you're in the medical field at a doctor's office, dentist's office, hospital, urgent care center, call Sammy's Embroidery Club, 210-824-3900. If you need the cloth and washable, reusable mask, either for you and your family or for your employees, Sam has those as well. In fact, Sam can even put your company logo on your mask or on your gator. Minimum order of $25 if you're doing the logo. But if you need cloth masks, get into Sammy's Embroidery Club. If you need medical masks, get into Sammy's Embroidery Club. And at Sammy's Embroidery Club, if you need your logo on gear, you need your logo on some golf shirts or T-shirts made with your company business on it for your employees, you need hats done, it's Sammy's Embroidery Club. But nobody has better prices. Sammy has all the big name brands. All items do come with a warranty. check the website, samsembroidery.com. You can go visit that massive showroom on San Pedro, a mile inside Loop 410, next to Big Lots across from McDonald's. And you work with Sammy on your project. He's the owner, and he's by his phone right now, 210-824-3900. 824-3900 for Sammy's Embroidery Club.
Hey, don't get left out of the conversation.
I wouldn't be able to sleep at night if you did.
Follow us on Facebook at ESPN San Antonio and on Twitter at ESPN_SA.
And of course, on the go at ESPNSA.com.
1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
For over 70 years, Ewald Kubota has served the communities of South and Central Texas. And during these unusual times, we are still here, open for business, and ready to help working people. I'm John Ewald, and Ewald Kubota is an essential business. We're essential because we help families grow food, construction workers build roads, and ranchers work the land that is so important to our state. If you need your equipment repaired, serviced, or replaced, please come see us. We're here for you.
Everyone's loving what Diamonds Direct is doing right now. It's the best stimulus plan ever. 5 years, 0 interest financing on any purchase with no money down. It's Diamonds Direct's way of helping you make your money go further as we all look forward to better days. Just pick any item in Diamonds Direct showcases. Get the amazing value price you know we're known for. Make no down payment and spread your payments over 5 years without paying a dime in interest. That means a $6,000 designer ring is yours for just $100 a month. This makes everything more affordable at a time when we need it most. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, bands, colored gemstones, designer fashion jewelry. Take the price, divide by 60, and that's your payment. You can even finance the sales tax. Celebrate summer, celebrate life, celebrate love with Diamonds Direct's most spectacular offer ever. 5 years, 0 interest with nothing down. Now for a limited time on approved credit. Diamonds Direct.
At the shops at La Cantera.
Distracted driving doesn't give second chances. To see her first steps, see him scoring the winning touchdown, marrying the one you love, or celebrating 25 years of joy.
I'm Thomas J. Henry. Today, distracted driving is the #1 cause of catastrophic auto collisions and the end of life's dreams. It's best to put the phone down until you arrive or pull off the road safely.
San Antonio, Texas.
Anyone who builds, remodels, or repairs for a living, we know the way you work has changed. That's why Lowe's is committing today to build new ways to keep you working tomorrow. We are proud to introduce the new Lowe's for Pros job site, powered by Stream, an augmented video chat tool, so you can be there for your customers without actually being there. And the cost to use? Try it free through October 31st at lowesforpros.com/proloyalty. Just one of the reasons why Lowe's is the new home for pros. Services subject to Stream terms. Lowe's loyalty membership required. More terms apply.
At AutoZone, we've always been here to help you get what you need to go where you need. That hasn't changed. Needing some battery help? We've got you. Whether it's a free battery test or a free charge, we can help you get started again. And if it's time for a replacement, we've got a full selection of batteries starting at $79.99. That's why we're America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone. Based on data from the MPD Group Incorporated, Car Care Track, 12 months ending December 2019.
Should I keep it light? Is that right?
It is the Blitz. Here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM on the go at ESPNSA.com. Blitz is brought to you by the Thompson Law Firm. An experienced personal injury attorney is but a phone call away in these troubled times. Jason Thompson is available to you 24/7. Here's the number, 210-900-0400, or go to alawyer4us.com. As we sit, we're going to talk some Zeke and the diagnosis. But before we do, we got a little bit, I guess this is breaking news. Rob Manfred, the commissioner of Major League Baseball, his tone has certainly changed over the last couple of days. See a tweet bouncing around that Commissioner Manfred is not 100% sure that we're going to have baseball this summer and into the fall, as who you sit today. Although, Jason, we talked a lot about this earlier in the show, or earlier in the day as we were preparing for the show. I thoroughly believe in your theory here that the owners have a plan and they're just working their plan.
Now, on draft night a week ago, Manfred said he's 100% certain there will be baseball. Today, he is not 100% certain. If you watched that 30 for 30 last night, and I hope the players and the owners watched it and they realized where baseball was in '94 and what McGuire and Sosa did to bring baseball back. And 22 years later, don't screw it up and do the same damn thing. But the owners have constantly and consistently talked about a shorter season. The players want more money and more games, because if they're going to go prorated on their salary, they want 100% of their prorated salary. The owners' proposals all have less than 100% of their prorated salary. So, if their salary is based on 162 games, and so say you're getting $10 for every game for 162 games. Well, the latest owner's proposal has them doing, I don't know what it was, 50 whatever. Yeah. I've lost track of where they're at, but at 80% of their prorated salary. So now you're getting $8 a game. The players want 100% of their prorated salary. And they keep saying more games. Owners keep saying fewer games. The owners are going to push this down the road far enough to where it's not feasible to play a lot of games. If they still want to end by Halloween, if we delay, as they say in the legal world, a delay is a win. The longer they delay this, the less games you can feasibly have within the calendar. They're going to settle on that 100% prorated, but at a fewer amount of games. So ultimately, the players are going to get the exact same amount of money that they've asked for, but for fewer games, because they're going to get their 100% of the prorated salary.
We'll get into that certainly in a bit, but Commissioner Manfred, not 100% sure that they're going to play this season. That's kind of a little bit of a shift there, but I agree with Jason. I do. I think a stall is a win here. The owners decided this is how much we're going to spend. And this is all we're going to spend. So you figured how to make it work inside of this balloon. So they're going to get there with a fewer number of games. Zeke has corona, which certainly is concerning to anyone. But as Dallas Cowboy fan and as NFL fan, you look at football coming back and suddenly stars are testing positive. You're going to test the measure of fandom as we see guys that we're asking to put themselves in harm's way to go practice here in a couple of months. A positive sign ain't great. And more concerning is, the personal rights. How did the idea that, or how did the truth or the fact that Zeke got tested and was positive, how did that hit the news? I think there's a lot of questions inside of the news breaking today.
Well, Zeke obviously isn't happy that everybody knows. He tweeted out earlier today, HIPAA, ? Then also tweeted, my agent only confirmed the story was already written. Reporters have been calling my agent all morning. My agent didn't break the story to the media. Zeke knows. Yes, I don't know what the HIPAA rules are, because if you sprain your ankle, we know about it, and we're giving updates on your health all the time. In this particular case, though, with any NFL player, I go back to in the NBA. We found out about Rudy Gobert right away. We found out about Kevin Durant and other players with the Nets. The Spurs, on the other hand, would not publicly say if anybody within their organization tested positive. They wouldn't, wouldn't disclose, that information. So I think every team handles things a little bit different. The idea that Zeke is upset about this, obviously it's personal, but what has Zeke been doing? Has he been out? And, I think there's a lot of people that might be embarrassed to say that they have it. Especially if they have been out and about. I fall in that category. I've been to restaurants, I've been to bars, and if I get it, there are going to be the people that want to stay at home, say, see, I told you so, you got it. I understand what my risks are as an adult, but I could see where Zeke, if he has been out and about, doesn't want to be pointed in that direction. At the same time, if you've been out and about, then, this goes for the NBA guys not wanting to go into the bubble too. If you're able to go out to a restaurant or whatever in a bar, can you go to work? A lot of people are going to work right now too. So, it is going to, we're getting into that kind of very delicate area of the corona when with these athletes, when we're saying, hey, are you going to be able to go do it safely when you've got thousands and thousands and thousands of people that are working in the public every day?
What happens in your mind if we go beyond positive And and certainly I wish this on no athlete, but one that does get genuinely ill, genuinely sick. Are we going to reevaluate where we are, or is as we like to say around here, the toothpaste already out of the tube, and there's no going back from where we are sitting today on June the 15th?
Yeah, do we treat our athletes any different than we do our healthcare workers or the people at HEB? There are positive cases with employees at HEB. We've heard about that. They haven't shut down every one of those grocery stores. When you look at the numbers, the chances that that is going to happen to somebody. Most people, they get it. It's fairly mild, and then they're fine. I think I'm talking about sick. I'm talking about hospital sick. Like we have a professional football player get sick, or a professional basketball player getting beyond just the stay at home 4 or 5 days and the norm, like we've been told, just achy and fever and all that, and then getting back to work. We're talking about a player legitimately ill where there's concern. We can't go back though? Is that where we all are, or do we see a possibility of bigger the star, more likely a stoppage, or it doesn't matter whether it's a big star or lesser star? I mean, there's some questionable ground that we know is coming. Well, and again, it is coming. I don't know that you stop. I think almost like every other profession out there, that risk is certainly there.
Mm-hmm.
I think from the NBA standpoint, if a guy is nervous about coming back, then you don't penalize him. I'm curious if anybody is going to be nervous on one of those teams that think that they have a chance at winning a championship. Now I know Dwight Howard said some things. But that wasn't about Rona. That was about the Black Lives Matter movement, about wanting to come back and play right now. So, but I do think, positive tests are going to be a part of everything that we see moving forward. I went for months of not knowing anybody that had it to now I know, 4 or 5 people and their families that have it. And, and I think probably a lot of people are that way. And, that's, is that where we are now? I mean, the positive test, was it Von Miller tested positive pretty early on and is now fine? To hear that Zeke has it, better to have it now before the start of training camp. Is it, you know what I mean? You're right. Lots of questions. I mean, Ohio State saying, you know what, we're going to have all our players sign waivers. Yeah, I don't know if that's kind of weird too. But we're all in an area. Are you signing a waiver that you're not holding us responsible, or you're signing a waiver that you have to adhere to our policies? Because that's the way Ohio State is trying to couch this. You know what I mean? Like, there's a rally scheduled for Oklahoma.
So they're saying if you get it, it's your fault.
Yeah, that you're not holding us responsible if you were to get it.
So it's your fault.
Yeah. There's that rally in Oklahoma where they're having to sign a waiver if they're going to go to a rally. I know when I went and got a pedicure, we had to sign a waiver going in to get a pedicure. When those things.
I'm surprised she didn't have to sign a waiver you gave her.
Yeah.
Before you see my feet, I'm going to need you to sign this.
It's been a long 3 months. Have fun.
I just want to offer you this waiver. You have the opportunity to exit now, and you can leave and we'll part as friends. Or you can sign the waiver and get down on these hooves. Like needs to be appropriately done. But you can't hold me responsible for anything you're about to see. That's my waiver. The Texans were dealing with that too. The Texans are dealing with this too. We know positive tests are coming, but and you brought up something that I find very interesting. Does the fact that we're now starting to know people, it has become personal to many of us now, where it was this thing that we were all kind of afraid of, but it was far away. There were 80 people a day in San Antonio being tested, and we didn't know where they were, but it probably didn't affect us, but we were doing our measures. Now we know people that have it, and as they are dealing with it, has that affected your opinion on whether sports should come back at all?
No. For me, no. And I know everybody, the way I've kind of been through this from the whole thing, and it hasn't changed, is be responsible for yourself. I'm not judging you if you're afraid to leave the house and go do things. In fact, just in talking to a wide variety of friends, my friends that are all at home are the ones that are more nervous about leaving the home. The ones that have people in the household that leave every day are more comfortable going out in places. Now, I wear a mask. If you don't wear a mask, I'm not necessarily judging you. But the other day I was at HEB at the grocery store, and I'm trying to figure out what I'm getting. And some dude just comes right up behind me over my shoulder and grabs something. He wasn't wearing a mask, and that kind of bothered me, dude. You're kind of in my personal space there. I saw Peter Burns did a segment this weekend on his ESPN show about mask shaming. And, are we at that point now too? And that bothers me more, because when I went to Florida, there was some mask shaming, but the other day at Lowe's, some guy was mask shaming everybody that was wearing a mask. It's like, dude, right now, let everybody do what they think they need to do individually and be responsible for yourself.
As we sit, the Kyrie and his band of friends, they all gather. How many people were on that call? 80, 100 people
80,
on a Zoom call that Kyrie held over the weekend, explaining, kind of offering an opportunity to speak out with the BLM movement in a way that, quite frankly, was unexpected from Kyrie. Maybe not playing, his belief that not playing would help in the movement forward of the Black Lives Matter, and certainly he has his opinion, but that has been kind of universally reviled, hasn't it? I mean, that Stephen A. Smith has certainly come out very much against that. Everybody's got their way of protesting. I think everybody's facing in the right direction. It's just how many big steps do we want to take initially, I think, is where we're quibbling with here. Certainly it's not about Kyrie personally, but the idea of maybe striking and not playing when there's an opportunity to further along the movement hasn't been greeted with a lot of sympathy for the most part. Am I right there?
He the way they presented the plan, the way it's been reported, and the reaction to it has not gotten the support maybe that Kyrie thought he was going to get.
Well, we look at that, go ahead.
And I think some of it are they trying to use some of the reports that I've seen? Are they trying to use the Black Lives Matter movement to hide the fact that they don't want to go play for 8 games because 8 games just isn't worth it?
And a point well made, actually. As we talk about the NBA and the decision whether there are some of the players want to play or not in regards to the Black Lives Matter movement, not so much about their health, we also have to look at what's going on in the general world of kneeling and all of that, as Mike Gundy has a picture of himself that was published by it's been kind of floating around, of him wearing a T-shirt that's got a logo of a rather conservative radio station. The T-shirt that's going on with Mike Gundy, and you combine that with some other past statements. A couple of his former players are kind of calling him out regarding that. J.J. Watt and Baker Mayfield responding on Twitter to the other side of that. We're going to talk about the politics of what's going on in this world when we come back, as Mike Gundy might be in a little bit of hot water for his choice of T-shirt. We'll talk about that next. So hang around here on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
You know what makes everything better? Kielbasa breakfast links. You take your breakfast to the next level with Kielbasa breakfast links, and your whole day is going to get better. And these Kielbasa breakfast links are available at HEB stores throughout the San Antonio area. These Kielbasa breakfast links are uniquely Kielbasa. Like the dinner sausage you already know and love, these links are crafted in small 150-pound batches with premium cuts of pork and hand-blended spices. They're bursting with flavor, and they come fully cooked, so you can pop them in the microwave for an easy breakfast on the go. If you're on one of those no-carb diets, Kielbasa breakfast links are perfect. They're premium, small-batch breakfast links that live up to Kielbasa's high standards of quality. If they're not the best breakfast links you've ever tasted, call Michael Kielbasa. He'll give you your money back. So get into HEB. Get some Kielbasa breakfast links today.
The first thing on our bucket list? Fill the bucket with ice-cold beer. Woohoo! San Antonio's sports leader. 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM. All day, every day.
I'm James Pudger, and in the NFL, according to the NFL Network's Ian Rappaport and Tom Pelissero, several Cowboys and Texans players have recently tested positive for COVID-19. Rap Sheet also confirms that Cowboys running back Zeke Elliott is one of the players that tested positive via his agent, Rocky Arsenault, who also said Elliott is feeling good. None of the players are believed to have been to team facilities and that the teams have followed proper health protocols. In college football news, 2 Texas Longhorn players tested positive for the coronavirus after returning to campus last week for voluntary workouts. Both players are self-isolating. In Major League Baseball news, the sign-stealing scandal may not be over yet. A federal judge has ordered that a 2017 Major League Baseball letter be unsealed, and reports are it links the Yankees to sign-stealing that could be even greater than both the Astros and Red Sox. This situation is related to a lawsuit from DraftKings Daily Sports players against Major League Baseball. The Sporting News' Joe Rivera reports that according to the sources, the Yankees, Texas Rangers, Royals, and Phillies are all mentioned in the report. The Yankees have now officially filed an appeal of the judge's decision. In other Major League Baseball news, the Major League Baseball players have turned down the owner's latest proposal for a restart to the season over the weekend of a 72-game schedule that included 8% prorated salaries. I'm James Pledger for ESPN San Antonio.
Hurt in an accident and dealing with a wrecked car? Thomas J. Henry will help you get a rental car while we work on your case. Start your claim today at tjhlaw.com/radio. That's tjhlaw.com/radio. San Antonio, Texas.
At Advance Auto Parts, we take the guesswork out of your oil change. Get 5 quarts of full synthetic Mobil 1, Valvoline, Castrol Edge, or Pennzoil Platinum with a qualifying premium oil filter for $33.99. Plus, for Father's Day, visit AdvanceAutoParts.com and share your favorite garage moments with Dad for a chance to win an ultimate home garage makeover or other great prizes. Advance your auto at Advance Auto Parts and participating CarQuest locations. See store for details.
This is the sound of Jeff's first ever low and slow Applewood smoked pork shoulder. And this
yes,
is the sound he made when it fell right off the bone. Are you okay there, Jeff?
Oh, it's beautiful.
Backyard grilling leaves the best marks. Kingsford. For recipes and inspiration, visit kingsford.com.
Capital One knows life doesn't alert you about your credit card.
Hey, couch surfers, we've got nonstop tunes to keep you rocking while you work. Oh, and Colleen, yes, you Colleen with a K. Your free trial of Movie Plus ends tomorrow, and your card may be charged. Do you want to continue or cancel?
So meet Eno, the Capital One assistant. Eno looks out for surprise charges, like when free trials expire, and helps if you need to fix them. Eno, another way Capital One is watching out for your money when you're not. Capital One, what's in your wallet? Limitations apply.
Hey, it's the Blitz. You guys are on 1250 ESPN San Antonio or 94.5 FM. Or maybe you're checking us out on our Facebook page, ESPN San Antonio, or maybe ESPNSA.com. And there you can see our YouTube feed, or you're maybe on YouTube, wherever you are. Thanks so much for dialing us in. He's Jason Minix. I'm Rob Thompson. I want to remind everybody that the most important holiday of the year is coming up this weekend on the 21st. It's the most important day of the year. And if you're not adequately prepared for Father's Day, we can kind of help you out. You know, ESPN San Antonio, we got a thing going with the Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, folks. $1,000 you can win for your father. But I buried the lead there. Or a year supply of the finest pork rinds you can put in your gullet, man. If you're a pork rind fan like I am, you learn to discern those that are great and those are just good. The great you want to have. And how about a year supply of the Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, of which I'm going to go pick up my case from Jason Minix tomorrow. I can't wait.
Yeah,
I have a feeling I know which ones aren't going to be there. I'm a little concerned that maybe the sriracha is going to be gone, or maybe you've already eaten the kimchi. All it's gone, but they're all good. You know what I mean?
The new chili ones. Those are the ones you're not getting.
I'm quite eager.
You're not getting those. Be eager all you want.
This is coming from a place. Just a little while ago, my sons I sent them to the grocery store, which was a goat rope in its own, but they opened up the refrigerator and something had headed south. Something had given up the ghost in our freezer and or in our refrigerator, and we had to empty it. So please, anything that's hermetically sealed and can't go bad, I'm pretty eager to have around this house. We are a rudderless ship without my wife in town, and things have gone south badly. There's something rotten in our fridge.
Let's understand. Okay, so your wife has now been out of town for a little more than 2 weeks and is going to be gone for at least another week. You were home alone, and that was getting disastrous, and then you had to go up to Dallas too. At some point during the week, you came back middle of the week to get the boys and take them up to Dallas for the funeral, and then you and the boys came back on Sunday. And at some point today, you realize something has died in your fridge and gone bad.
It's the first time we'd opened it. We hadn't opened it yet. I think the first time we opened the fridge was this morning. Are you kidding? There's a pile of delivery and picked up food, boxes, bags, cups, the likes of which are, a college student would be proud, man. I have regressed to that point. I am back to being 19 years old.
If everything could get delivered on Uber Eats or DoorDash, you'd be in good shape, right? But I'm curious, what has gone bad in the fridge?
It was a roast. It was a roast. It was I'd gotten it was a roast. I thought that I was going to do something with a couple of weeks back. I froze it. And then the night before I realized I had to go to Dallas, I had taken it out and put it in the refrigerator. You put it in the drawer on the very bottom. It's that's, I guess, I don't know if it's colder in there or
the crisper.
That's for segregated food, whatever that is, whatever the hell the crisper does. Is it colder or warmer in there? I can't quite, it's on the bottom. It must be colder, right? Anyway, it wasn't cold enough. The roast is now
it goes bad
blue
eventually,
green, Jason. It's blue green. I've never seen meat quite that color.
Just throw it on the
put a little smoke on it. It'll be good.
Put it on the pit, some rub in there, add flavor to it. Don't waste that roast, man. At least it wasn't a brisket. You didn't ruin another $100 brisket.
That's some pressure on you, man. When you ruin a $50 brisket, that's not good. And I did. It wasn't my fault, but I did.
Yeah, we won't tell the story how you butchered a brisket.
It wasn't my fault.
He had to make some macaroni and cheese too. He had to keep it warm.
I did. Exactly right.
You know what I did yesterday for Father's Day? I ordered from Kansas City Joe's. I ordered a couple of their racks of ribs because they've got the best ribs I've ever eaten. They will get here on Wednesday, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to take them up and do them for my mom on Father's Day, and I'm so excited about getting these ribs in. Oh, they're so good.
I have not had a chance to stand over a grill in well over a week. I'm jonesing for it. Man, by the way, kudos to you, man. Make me hungry. Every time I look at that feed, boy, you're grilling like a fool over there. Filling the whole grill. You have every food group in there, all being represented. You had corn, and you had sausage, you had beef, you had shrimp, you had pork, you had everything going on one grill. World class, man. That looked good.
Dude, I'm having fun with it. I did. Well, you weren't here, but I did pork chops the other day. I soaked them in soy sauce for a couple hours, and I put some good barbecue rub on them. Add a stick, and it was almost as good as Wurst Fest.
Let's say soy sauce. That's what the Boy Scouts do up there, right? That's where they get the flavor into the.
It's the Rumpel's Little League that does the. And then you just use a good rub on top of that, and they came out fantastic.
I cannot wait to dive back into some serious grilling.
If people only saw the crap I ate for lunch, you'd understand why I spend so much effort on the dinner. I'm starting to eat some leftovers, not a lot, but I don't have to. You throw a couple things on there, 4 or 5 people, and it's good. It's fun.
So as we talk about grilling and we look into the summer, I'm looking forward to it. Don't forget, get yourself registered. Go to ESPNSA.com. Get yourself registered for a Daddy's Day giveaway. We're going to be doing that on Friday. Got to get yourself registered right now. And the only place to do it is at ESPNSA.com. Your Southern recipe, small batch pork rinds. Social distancing dad's dough coming up. Mike Gundy isn't, the dude's controversial. His hair has got its own Twitter feed. I mean, he's well over 40 now. And he's never been shying away from his politics and certainly hadn't stopped. There's a picture floating around of him at a boat dock, just standing around with some dudes, actually looking like a guy that would work on a boat dock, with a shirt that says OAN. And the OAN is, and this is what Wikipedia is saying. I'm not saying this. This is just what Wikipedia calls it, a far-right news outlet. And because he was wearing that shirt and because of some past statements and shirts that he has worn, he's starting to be called out by some of his former players. Do you think there is some smoke that's about to turn into a big fire, or is it just Gundy being Gundy?
Well, Gundy's being tone deaf. And look, he's got every right to wear that shirt. I'd never heard of OAN before, looked it up today, but he went fishing over the weekend and he's wearing that shirt. The problem is one of his players has tweeted out, "I am not going to stand for this." And you look at their best running back, one of their best players, saying, "Dude, that this has to change." As much as Gundy has the right to wear that shirt, his players have a right now to say something about it. And when I think about the hurt, and I don't know that he gets fired over this, although there might be some repercussions from it. Now, keep in mind, I've seen floating around on Twitter today. And so, it is Twitter. So, but apparently he wants, excuse me, he wants fired a contractor doing some work at his house because he showed up wearing an OU Sooner shirt. Which is funny as hell, by the way.
I gotta say, dude, I'd have fired him too.
Yeah, right.
Nothing to do with anything other than, seriously, you're going to wear that to my house. You knew where you were coming. So, all right, you want to do that to me? You get to go home.
But again, though, I mean, the players have a voice right now that is being heard. And with the transfer rules being what they are, the players do have the right to say, you know what? That doesn't fly around here. Not right now, coach. And you know what? There's not much you can do about it because I can get up and leave. I can get in that portal and be gone just like that. And there is one thing that you always think about with coaches is they are always recruiting. And I think
yes,
now more than ever, a coach's stance on this is going to go such a long way when it comes to recruiting. I saw Nick Moyle, who covers the Longhorns for the Express News, tweeted out, "Mike Gundy is out here rocking OANTs and alienating players while Tom Herman is marching and kneeling in the streets with his players. Parents, players, and recruits are all paying very, very close attention to these things." And that is so true. I mean, we talked about this some, when various coaches were making their statements, and then what were they doing? Like seeing Tom Herman march with his guys, as opposed to a coach that might have just released a statement. Everybody is paying attention to everything you do. And so for Mike Gundy to wear that particular shirt is just tone deaf. And if I'm Mike Gundy, I release a statement saying, dude, I get it. I get it. I was going fishing, so I wasn't going to wear the good T-shirt out there. So kind of like we all have those yard shirts that we wear only when you're working in the yard. So if they get messed up, you don't really care. He needs a statement like that. Although, based on what I've read on social media, he has applauded this network in the past because it's just news with no commentary. Now, he can have his political beliefs, and everybody does. Everybody has their own political beliefs. Nothing wrong with this. But right now, that just comes across as tone deaf for a college football coach.
Yeah, this one's going to be a tough one. We have seen, fortunes can change rather quickly. There wasn't that long ago. I myself was saying shame on you to Drew Brees, and Drew Brees capitalized on the situation, pivoted on a dime like a good quarterback would be able to do, and delivered a strike and retort, and came back strong and has done everything absolutely correct after admitting fault and finding a way to get it fixed. It's not done for Gundy because the extrapolation here is, first, it's politics, and that's fine. Everybody's got the absolute right, and you can do it and say whatever you want. And I don't care who you're for or against, Mike. I just want you to win football games. That's all I care about you in that context. But in the context we're sitting today and the time that we're sitting today, there's an extrapolation to Trumpism and radical and racism, quite frankly. And There's just no possible way that Mike Gundy is a racist. I won't accept that. There's lots of perfectly good reasons to dislike him other than that. In the words of George Carlin. I mean, there's lots of reasons. If you're unhappy with it, find other reasons to dislike him. I just refuse to believe that the man is a racist. There's nothing to prove that. It's just that now politics has become that gray area that it's difficult to stand in unless you're 100% one way or the other. And Mike's kind of skirting the difference here. He's played the middle from the very beginning. And I think because of this shirt, he's going to have to take a side. And whatever side he chooses, he's going to have to pay deal with the ramifications either way. Either way, this isn't going to be easy for him, I don't think.
And again, I don't know if it's grounds for firing by any stretch of the imagination, but at the same time, the Zoom meeting coming up for those Oklahoma State players is certainly going to be interesting. And and I do think though that kind of like what we saw with Drew Brees, have a meeting with your guys. Then see what you say after that. Will he listen and actually not just listen, but hear what his players are telling him?
But in his defense, if you got a mullet like that, don't you have to wear a shirt like that? I mean, isn't it like a necessity? Isn't it in the mullet handbook that the longer the mullet, the bigger the party in back, the more far right you go?
I mean, that's just like saying, does he have a Confederate flag at the end of his boat while he was out there fishing? I mean, he's got the mullet there, Rob. I mean, isn't that part of the hand? No.
Just saying, he looks like a dude that would be working at a boat dock right now. And, he's certainly in the proper attire. I think it comes with the handbook because that mullet is indeed world class. It is the finest in the world. And like I said, it has its own Twitter following. How could be bigger than that?
And again, for a guy that has fired a worker, apparently, according to Twitters, for wearing an OU Sooner shirt to work on his house, he's certainly aware of how powerful a T-shirt can be.
Yeah, that's
and how disruptive and disturbing and offensive a T-shirt can be.
For a guy, I'd have fired him too. I mean, you know what you were doing. You don't want to poison the kids with that funny looking color, that weird looking crimson and cream. It's not appropriate. You can't do that in pleasant company. Wear a funny looking color like that.
I
mean, enemy of my enemy is my friend. Come on, hook 'em. Come on, let's gather together and hate those guys up there at OU.
Hook 'em. I'm proud of that. Hook 'em.
Enemy of my enemy, my friend, right there. We can all band together and realize that there is one true bad thing in the world, and it's OU football. We can all agree on that, right?
Yeah, you and I can. Absolutely.
See, we can find common ground. See, it's those little ways that we're going to bring ourselves back together. Anyway, certainly Gundy's going to have something to answer. This is not going to go away easily, I don't think. And even if it doesn't hit the news, like you said, those recruiters are going to show this picture every time they talk to that four-star defensive end that just needs and wants to go play someplace other than Stillwater, Oklahoma. On the other side of this, J.J. Watt, man, this guy, let me tell you, J.J. Watt, we're starting to get on the same wavelength. I'm not sure if it's married life that's getting him there or just added wisdom, but to have him tweet out in response to someone who tweets, well, I bet J.J. Watt won't kneel. Well, J.J. said, don't put words in my mouth, fool. That's something I don't believe J.J. would have done except for this situation, and he would have done the same thing years ago. But certainly now he has this great following, and the same thing with Baker Mayfield, the tweets about Baker and what he's going to do, and certainly he put people in their place. These guys are talking about the right message at the right time, and this is exactly what needs to happen from guys that have the level of following and understanding, like a J.J. Watt and a Baker Mayfield, Anglos in a primary African-American sport that are speaking their minds the right way. I couldn't be happier with the way those guys are handling it.
When you think about J.J. Watt playing for the Houston Texans from Wisconsin, Baker Mayfield, from rich family, rich high school in Austin, Texas, they are probably alienating a good portion of their fan base with those tweets. And they know that when they hit send. And for JJ, for his clapback to be so strong, that dude deleted the original post, long after it was screenshotted a gazillion times. But I mean, that guy is now hiding somewhere. Oh man, JJ responded. How cool? Oh man, my notifications are going nuts. I better stop.
Hey.
But I think it is the right message. And the fact that they get it, and I think for the first time since Colin Kaepernick started kneeling, I think we all now know and understand that kneeling isn't about disrespecting the flag or military. It's all about police brutality. And when Colin Kaepernick started the kneeling, his message on police brutality was completely lost because it came across as disrespecting the flag.
Absolutely, couldn't be prouder. Hey, Jason, I got some tickets. You want to go see a rugby game? Want to go check out a rugby game? It's about a 28-hour flight, but we can go see some live sports. You want to go?
Dude, New Zealand's beautiful this time of year.
Yes, indeed. 43,000 fans show up in New Zealand to check out rugby. Is that a bad idea? We'll talk about it coming up. You're on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
Injuries do happen even during a crisis. And when they do, skip ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for acute injuries like broken bones, sports injuries, dislocations, sprains, strains. They have 2 San Antonio locations, extended hours Monday through Saturday, on-site x-ray casting and bracing. Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury. And best of all, no emergency room or urgent care copay. So if you're injured, get to Ortho Now. Visit TSAOG.com/Ortho Now for more information. Again, TSAOG.com/Ortho Now.
Get 100% sports while you give 50% effort at work.
Is that a rhetorical point, or would you like to do the math?
I'd like to do the math.
1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM. All day, every day.
Jason Minix here for BSG, the company that brings you the best in home security and smart home technology. Protect what matters most, your family and home, by calling BSG at 210-877-1222 or online at bsgtexas.com. We moved into a new house in January, and BSG not only did my home security system, they did my surround sound speaker system, my AC thermostat, outdoor lights, and garage door opener, and it all works on the same app. Go to bsgtexas.com right now and take advantage of an incredible promotion. Get the same security system I have for $59.99 a month. That includes 2 outdoor security cameras, 1 video doorbell, 1 smart door lock, 24/7 monitoring, and the smart home app. No money down, no credit check. Most other security companies charge $50 a month or so to monitor a security system. That doesn't include any equipment. BSG is local. No gimmicks, no high-pressure salespeople. Go online now at bsgtexas.com.
Is the summer of 2020 the year you upgrade her diamond? After all we've been through this year, can you think of a better way to make 2020 a year she will always remember in a positive way? Diamonds Direct is here to help with our best ever selection of large, rare diamonds and our most aggressive finance offer ever. 5 years, 0 interest financing with 0 down. So you can upgrade her diamond and spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest charges. And if you bought her original diamond from us, it's even better because we'll give you 110% of your original purchase price to be used toward the upgrade. So you can really go big. If your luxury travel had to be postponed this year, make the journey to Diamonds Direct and let her escape in our world of sparkle and romance. And take advantage of our special summer of 2020 financing offer. 5 years, 0 interest with nothing down on approved credit. Diamonds Direct.
At the shops at La Cantera.
Hello, I'm Jeff, a co-founder of Casper. If you've ever tried a Casper mattress, thank you. Your feedback helps us innovate. Because now we're excited to introduce Zoned Support, an ergonomic system designed to keep your spine aligned at night. And then there's something really cool that we call AirScape, engineered foam layers that help regulate your sleep temperature. So thanks. Visit us at Casper.com to learn more. Terms and conditions apply. See Casper.com/terms.
At AutoZone, we've always been here to help you get what you need to go where you need. That hasn't changed. Needing some battery help? We've got you. Whether it's a free battery test or a free charge, we can help you get started again. And if it's time for a replacement, we've got a full selection of batteries starting at $79.99. That's why we're America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone. Based on data from the MPD Group Incorporated, Car Care Track, 12 months ending December 2019.
It is the Blitz. Here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM. On the go at ESPNSA.com. He's Jason. I'm Rob. James, pleasure producing us all the way to 7 o'clock. So it appears that New Zealand has eliminated the coronas from their small island. Hadn't been any cases in a couple of weeks. They opened everything up, and over the weekend, the New Zealanders had an opportunity to dive into rugby full speed. 43,000 screaming fans show up for the All Blacks. I'm sure we're entirely jealous, but. Yeah, I guess that's great news. You just hope something bad doesn't happen. You know, I read the story about the bomb, the COVID bomb that went off in Italy back in February when they held a match, and the number of cases coming from that one match, ballooned into the hundreds of thousands after all was said and done. So it's a scary proposition, but it's good news to hear.
Well, and again, I mean, they haven't had a positive case since May 22nd. Their prime minister announced in New Zealand the country had successfully halted the spread of the virus, but should be prepared for the possibility of new cases in the future. Meantime, nearly all the restrictions put in place are now off. And, you read the article, you see the photos, 43,000 fans. They don't look socially distanced in the stadium after the game was over. You saw the highlights on ESPN, people charging the crowd and or the field or pitch or whatever you call that thing. I don't know rugby terms. Yeah, it was a nice sight to see. And here's the thing. I think for like NBA types, for football types, do you not use this as a case study? Do you not look at that and go, okay, what are they doing? How did they do it? Because if these photos that apparently they were taken over the weekend, not 2-year-old stock photo, they don't have every other seat and every other row, and it's full. What comes out of this? They're the guinea pigs.
I'm jealous. I'm eager. It's coming eventually, one way or the other. But to fill a stadium like that, not even go halfway. All right, we're done. Everybody gets welcomed in. Well, let's hope it doesn't shake out the negative side when they have another outbreak. When we get back in the 5 o'clock, we're going to look at Zeke. He tested positive. How does that make you feel about players coming back? Did you guys watch the 30 for 30 last night, the fonder days of baseball when they actually played in the home run derby that was back in 1998? That was fantastic in the story, but really not a lot to chew on inside of that. We're going to look at the show that was on last night for 30 for 30. You want to hang around with us? We got a lot to talk about here on the Blitz. 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
Will we see new offensive wrinkles under new Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy?
The one thing that I do want to see, what about Dak running the ball more? But we talked about this when they signed Andy Dalton. When you've got a solid backup quarterback, can you be a little bit riskier with your starting quarterback, especially one that, as of right now, doesn't have a long-term deal? Do you run him more?
For everything Dallas Cowboys, the Blitz 4 to 7, 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
Napa know-how.
Father's Day knickknacks. That funny mug, ironic tie, or worse, IOU coupon books. It's time to get yourself something you want, Dad, like a Craftsman half-inch corded impact wrench for $99.99. It's the perfect gift to give to yourself. And while you're here, don't forget to shop all our great deals on Craftsman tools. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa Know-How.
Napa know-how.
At participating Napa Auto Parts stores while supplies last. Offer ends 6/30/20.
Your source to local news in San Antonio begins with the San Antonio Express News. We've collected, written, and shown the stories that matter most to San Antonio. Look no further than the Express News to continue to provide information and strength to the community. Every day, news stories are spoken, providing hope and inspiration. The Express News is committed to providing timely and accurate reporting to help make a difference in the community we live in. Support local. We are San Antonio. We are the Express News. Come read us today at expressnews.com.
Guys, waking up over and over to pee is not okay. But now you can reduce those nighttime bathroom trips with the ingredients in Super Beta Prostate P3 Advanced. We're talking about less urges to pee at night, less bathroom trips during the day, and better bladder emptying.
It's like taking 3 prostate supplements in one. You can try a full 30-day bottle of P3 Advanced. Free. Just cover shipping and handling, and a free bottle will be conveniently shipped to your door. No strings attached and no commitments to buy. Call 1-800-491-1856. Super Beta Prostate is the best-selling brand in major retailers like Walmart. But for this no-strings-attached free bottle, you must call now. Call 1-800-491-1856. Agents are standing by to take your call for this unprecedented free offer. Call 1-800-491-1856. 1-800-491-1856.
1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM. All day, every day.
Woo! 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 Ow!
KZDC San Antonio. Jason Minix, Rob Thompson, The Blitz.
It is The Blitz here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, on the go at ESPNSA.com. He's Jason Minix. I'm Rob Thompson. Welcome aboard. A fun week ahead. And we got lots to talk about as sports are headed our direction. And unless it's, of course, baseball, we're going to get into Rob Manfred's less than rosy outlook for the future of Major League Baseball, at least for this season. Talk a little bit about what happened almost, 22 years ago, the 30 for 30 last night. And we got a local soccer player here in San Antonio up for one of those 4 initial awards, an ESPY.
She's up for an ESPY. And, you know, the crazy thing is when I saw that on Twitter a while ago, all I can think of is, man, what a great backyard that. And then you find out, I found out today, San Antonio soccer player over at Johnson High School who is in line for an ESPY for an incredible trick shot that she did. And then you go and you look at the football. They should win the award just for their backyard setups. Got a football field because clearly she's at the 30-yard line, and then a pool that has a basketball, not one of those little cheap, I don't know how cheap they are, but, you know, the normal pool hoops that are right there. It looks like the full basketball goal in the backyard, man. It's impressive. That backyard should win an ESPY.
You know, if you're back in your backyard, you have a 30-yard line like painted in. How awesome is that?
Yeah.
I mean, wow. That's a caring dad right there. Zeke has corona. I'm not sure we should know that. I'm not sure that he wanted us to know that, but we do. Concerns, first of all, the headline, Cowboys, plural, test positive for corona. It was frightening enough because, you know, your first thought is, 25 dudes have it. No, just 2. And one of them is Zeke. But certainly a concern as we're trying to get these guys back together. And it appears Memorial Day and all the get-togethers that have happened kind of saw an explosion there of the coronas. And now Zeke has it. It's still no change in how we feel about getting everybody together, right? Or are we starting to go, ooh, maybe we might want to hold off a little bit?
I don't. I mean, it's interesting, and you're right. I mean, you look at Cowboys, Texans players test positive for the coronavirus, and I'm thinking it's going to be a whole bunch. Turns out, according to reports, it's 4 total guys. And we're going to have that. And, no different than, was it 5 A&M players, a handful of Texas players, 5 at Alabama. That is going to happen everywhere. And, the idea of shutting everything down or delaying, I mean, we're about 50 days or so away from the start of training camp for the Dallas Cowboys, which is July 22nd. I do in sports and seeing how they're handling like soccer over in Europe or watching rugby, this past weekend in New Zealand, not that I watched, but seeing the highlights of it, fans at the NASCAR race, including Alvin Kamara, who was at the race last night. In football, do you take fewer people to training camp? The guys that have no shot at making your team, the training camp bodies, do you take fewer of those guys to just to lessen the numbers, or do you take more of those guys because you might have to have expanded rosters here? Do you treat the corona like a hamstring? You got it, you're out a couple of weeks. Is it a high ankle sprain? Because I do think there. I think in reality, I know for some it's a devastating illness for young athletes. Most younger people without the underlying health concerns and stuff, it's a couple days of misery, and then you're fine. Will there be an athlete that gets really sick and has issues forever? Maybe. Will one die? Maybe. Will more than one die? I mean, it's certainly a possibility, but you can't shut everything down just because of it. I think for athletes, no different than if you're a healthcare worker, a cop, a policeman, somebody working at HEB, or your DoorDash guy. I mean, people are out there working, and it's out there.
As I've had an opportunity really to leave my house for an extended period of time for the first time in months, as we were dealing with, if you're curious and if you're just joining us, I was out last week. My mother-in-law passed away a week ago today, and I was up in Dallas for the entirety of the week dealing with all of that. And it appeared to me, and this is just anecdotal from my perspective, that the folks up in Dallas aren't wearing nearly the percentages of those wearing masks is much, much lower up there than it is down here. But again, I haven't been out much, so I'm not the guy to ask. But as I spent that week up there, you deal with so many different questions when you get into this, and it gets real when you get out there, and you do get desensitized to it. For those of us that have been holed up, you think, oh my God, I'm afraid to step out my door. I've built up this fear from the news that I've watched incessantly for months. And then there's those that are out and about, and whether you believe in the mask or not, I don't want to get into that, but lots of folks ain't wearing them. And for those of us that are accustomed to wearing them and being concerned about them that's not, it's a little awkward. And as we start hearing about people now in San Antonio, as those numbers of positives are jumping up that we all know, just curious if our perspective, our ideas of whether sports is that important, worthy of risking somebody's general health for. I don't think it should change, but it certainly has kind of replanted a seed in my mind as I was dealing with that. Like, is it worth all of this? And it is, and there is an essential quality to what is being done. But to ask to get it down to the micro level, the individual to do this, it gets a little awkward when you're dealing with, would I do that? Well, I don't know, but I'm certainly asking them to go do it. But it is an essential. It's part of our society as we want to move forward. It's a tough question that I think we all have to answer for ourselves. But I think for the most part, we're all agreeing that we got to move on forward and do the very best to protect as we can, but knowing full well that this train has left the station. Life is going to get back to as normal as possible as soon as we can do it.
It is interesting when you see people out and about, and the responsibility aspects of what we all do. How often do you wash your hands? Or like I go out, but I do wear a mask when I'm out, except for when I'm at a bar or a restaurant, because I'm at a bar or a restaurant. Getting into Ubers, it is kind of weird when you get into an Uber and the driver's like, I don't need a mask. Yeah, you do, buddy. Say, and I think that's where we all are. But it does kind of come down to you go to a bar, and I went and saw some live music on Saturday night. Ran into Cleto Rodriguez while we were out. And, this place generally has had a bathroom attendant in the past. There's not a bathroom attendant now. I'm there. I'm being a guy, at the next urinal. He leaves this straight out the door, doesn't wash his hands. And I'm thinking, dude, I mean, if this hasn't got you to wash your hands, man, what will? Because there are those people that are out there. And, maybe we need that bathroom attendant back.
No, we don't ever need a bathroom attendant back. That's a thing that just needs to go away. I've always
felt that until I'm at a bar and there used to be one. Now there's not, and that dude left without washing his hands. It's like, come on, man.
Maybe, you know what? Maybe just an in-bathroom guy that just shames you. Just you don't have to give me a towel or cologne. Just somebody out there like, aren't you going to wash your hands, dude? And oh no, it's my job. It's my job. They've hired me. I'm the bathroom shame guy. That way, they still get it done, but I don't have the awkward like, really, I gotta pay you and give you some money for a towel. I know you handed it to me. I know that's nice of you.
But he also squirted the water, the soap in your hands too. He's got to earn his money, man.
I'm so glad that's going to be a thing of the past. I want to one day tell my kids, when I was young, we had these things called bathroom attendants, and it was the most awkward, awful experience. You'd go in there and it'd just be you and him, and you might go in there for a douche. You know what I mean? And he's going to be there the entire time. Now, granted, whatever you might doing,
if you're going number 2 at the bar, man, it's time to go home.
Well,
I can't do that. I can't do that.
Well, me either, but they're not just at bars. I've been to like fine restaurants. I've been to other places where they have them, and if there's a crowd, it's okay. You can kind of you can be the wildebeest in the middle of the pack. You can just kind of get in and out without being picked. But when you walk in there alone and it's just you and him, and you're like, I hope I have enough money to get out of here. Because it's so awkward when you're like, man, I really got to give this dude 50 cents or $1 because he handed me a towel.
50 cents? Come on, you cheap dude. Come on, 50. Like you carry 50 cents.
Well, like I said, what exactly is handing me a Kleenex and a squirt of soap worth in your world?
I'll get you at the end of the night because you're coming back in there. You're at the bar. I'm going to see you 8 more times here over the next 3 hours. I'll get you at the end of the night. You can't pay as you go, man. You'll go broke.
Well,
that's your mistake.
I shouldn't have to pay at all. I don't want to see. I don't want I am an over tipper for services that I deem absolutely necessary. And I don't need any help. I don't need. I can find my own.
I got it. I got it, man. I got it.
And I certainly don't need to splash on some cologne in the middle of the night, in the middle of the evening. I've never gotten to a point like, is my cologne still strong? Are you still whipping this?
Yeah, but where were we at in California? We're coming back, like I got chocolates in there. I forget what restaurant we were at, but you came back so thrilled that the guy had chocolates. You're like, normally they only have mints. This guy had little candy bars, and you brought it looked like you went trick or treating. I hope you left that guy a 10 spot.
Just the thought of that was bathroom candy. Why didn't you stop me?
Well, I didn't eat any of it.
Extremely excited.
I don't think Pledge ate any of it. RJ didn't eat any of it. That was all your bathroom candy.
I gotta be honest. I don't remember this. Were we in LA and I ate bathroom candy? Oh my God! Yep. I don't recall this at all. I thought you guys next time stop me. Maybe go wash my hands. I took bathroom candy.
The night we met Messersmith.
No, that wasn't at Duke's. I want to say it was when we were up in Ventura.
Ventura.
And I ate bathroom.
No, that was a different bathroom incident you had in Ventura. I think you're right. It must have been Duke's down in Malibu. Or no, it was at Gladstone's for Fish.
Yeah,
that's where it was. Not Duke's. It was at Gladstone's for Fish.
Oh, well, I don't recall the meal. I don't recall that, though. God, that was selective memory. Well, again, let me overstate the fact. Thank God that's a thing of the past.
There's a reason they kicked us out of the bar later that night.
They didn't kick us out. They didn't let me in. They didn't let us in because of
candies.
Boomer over here. Now I don't know what goes on in women's bathrooms. Maybe they need an attendant. I don't know what's happening in there. But
you don't want to know what goes on in there.
Side, see, maybe they need some help. I don't need any help. I don't need any help to find the soap. I don't need any help to find the detergent or whatever else you got, the towels, and I certainly don't need any cologne or.
Why are you using
bathroom candy? I ate bathroom candy,
bathroom chocolate.
Oh, see, that's even worse.
I think it was Snickers and Butterfingers. But you were all excited.
I think you came back with a Kit Kat.
Oh, see, we can't. That's the thing of the past. See, I'll tell my kids one day. Back in the day, there was this dude that hung out in the bathroom. No, he wasn't a perv. He was actually working. And
hey, Rob, want some candy?
And you go, I know. You just expelled, and I thought you might need some sweets, and so I've got some fine chocolates, and you smell a little awkward. So and I got a comb. You want to comb your hair? Like, that's a thing. Thank God that's gone. That'll never ever happen again. The very idea. Last night, in ESPN's ongoing challenge to keep us sportingly entertained, they've offered a bunch of new 30 for 30s. Last night, we got to see the saga of the home run derby of 1998, and it was a lot of fun to watch, and it really did put back some of the fonder baseball memories I've ever had. But was it? Did they tell enough truth there? Did we talk about what really needed to be talked about enough? And we all know what we're talking about, steroids. The 30 for 30 last night, did you enjoy it? And what'd you think? We'll talk about that next. Then we'll look at the NBA and Kyrie's quorum over the weekend on whether the players should play or not. Lots to talk about, and then you might as well stay with us. You're on the Blitz, you lucky devils. 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
You know, in San Antonio, we have some of the hardest water in the country. Having a water softener is not a luxury item. It is a necessity, and I highly recommend you get your water softener where I got mine, and that is from Alamo Water Softeners, a great locally owned, family-run business by the Townsends, who are from here. They started the company here. They even design and manufacture their equipment right here in San Antonio. And let's face it, we're all washing our hands more, or at least we better be washing our hands more. You want that good, soft water because good, clean water is a key part of us getting through COVID-19. When you get a water softener from Alamo Water Softeners, you're going to instantly notice the difference on your dishes as they come out of the dishwasher. You'll feel the difference on your hair and your skin as you get out of the shower, on your clothes, as you bring them out of the washing machine. And you think about an Alamo Water Softener, not only do you get soft water, but you're going to save money. You're going to double the life of your appliances, and you'll see a 20 to 30% savings on energy used by your water heater. Call 210-274-6122. Mention my name, Jason Minix, and you'll receive free basic installation. You'll also get a free reverse osmosis drinking water system with the purchase of select new Alamo Water Softeners. Remember the Alamo Water Softeners. 274-6122 or alamowatersofteners.com.
We see you.
We hear you.
We denounce systemic racism.
We condemn violence, inequity, and injustice.
We pledge to use the power of our platform to spread facts and educate our communities.
We will be the change that we are calling for. We are united for justice.
Hi, this is Daryl Lyons from Pax Financial Group. Are you thinking about taking Social Security? Are you uncertain? It could be time to have Pax double check your numbers. Also, did you know that if you are 3 months before your 65th birthday, you can apply for Medicare? Did you also know that Pax Financial Group can help you with that process? Connect with Pax by calling 210-881-5700 or online at paxfinancialgroup.com.
Investment advisory and insurance services are offered by Pax Financial Group.
Injuries happen even during a crisis. When they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, sports injuries, dislocations, and sprains and strains. With 2 locations, they have extended hours Monday through Saturday, on-site x-ray, casting, and bracing. Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury with no urgent care or emergency room copay. Injured? Get to Ortho Now. Visit TSAOG.com/Ortho Now for more information.
And now a game of Commercial Chicken, brought to you by Progressive, where we see how long Flo can go without talking about insurance. Ready? Go.
So the weather is just all over the place lately, right? One day it's hot, and the next day it's windy for a while. It's like, make up your mind already. Drivers who switch to Progressive can save big.
Okay, you win. We can't help but save customers money. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Back to work at that job, the one you realized isn't for you? Well, that's if you're lucky, right? Make your move. You can start a new life as an IT pro in as little as 4 months from the comfort of your own home, even if you have zero computer experience. Take control of your future now. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. Live online classes meet just twice a week. It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
It is the Blitz. You're on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM on the go at ESPNSA.com. Go check out our live feed on the YouTubes or on our Facebook or on ESPNSA.com. Wherever you go, you can check it out. Last night, we got another dose of the 30 for 30 from the Nationals. The mothership continues to deliver on Sunday nights. Last night, the saga that was Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa back in 1998. It was a fun watch, and it did take you back to a time where baseball desperately needed something good to talk about. And watching McGwire and Sosa go at it that year, going for the record, Roger Maris's 61 home runs, it was a good story to be told, but it certainly felt like a kind of whitewashed history. You know what I mean? They certainly did clean up the story for about an hour and 40 minutes.
I thought it was awful, quite honestly. My expectation for a 30 for 30 was not met. It was it was a fluff piece that didn't address the elephant in the room. I know you were out all last week. Pledge and I even discussed the promos for the for the piece never once mentioned steroids. How can you do a 30 for 30 on McGuire and Sosa and not even mention steroids? It certainly was a part of all the Lance promotion. And then what we got, it was fun watching home runs and seeing the chase and all that kind of stuff, but it didn't live up to diving in that like a 30 for 30 generally does. Right. It didn't answer any questions that we hadn't had answered before, and Sammy still won't answer any particular questions, which is why, he's got the divorce right now with no visitation rights from the Chicago Cubs. I mean, even Reggie Bush has now been re-embraced by USC because, that 10 years is finally over, which is the dumbest penalty in college football. But I thought last night was, I saw Bob Costas on Scott Van Pelt afterwards. And he talked about, the directors of 30 for 30 let us enjoy the chase like we did back then without it being clouded in there with the steroids. Well, if that was their intention, I think they failed miserably because you can't go back and just enjoy the moment. Maybe address it early and then let us go enjoy the race. But, I kept waiting. Well, when are you going to get into it? Hell, man, this thing is almost over. When you got 10 good minutes of the steroid stuff and still not one question answered. Except, and I saw a lot of people on Twitter asking this question, it wasn't illegal at the time in baseball. Whatever your morality high horse is, it wasn't a banned substance by Major League Baseball. But if you're going to hold McGuire and Sosa and Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens out of the hall because of the steroid era, how is Bud Selig in since he oversaw that? What about Tony La Russa, who had to have known, that McGuire started growing muscle on top of muscle on top of muscle, not doing it the legal way. It's selective on who's in and who's not. Last night was enjoyable, but it certainly missed the mark for my expectation of a 30 for 30.
Do you think it was put together by someone, whoever produced it and edited it, in a way that might make us look at that again and discuss the idea of getting them at least nominated for Hall of Fame? And certainly if nominated, they'll be voted in, you would expect. You think that was the attempt to hide all that, so maybe we fondly remembered the good stuff? And maybe, as James is apt to say on a lot of things, and I agree with him, we're going to look at this era as, over the last 3 or 4 years of, and I do think as news continues to percolate, not only from the Yankees but other teams, that a lot of teams are stealing pitches, and we'll just talk about that in the same light as maybe we should back in the 90s ago. You know what? That was just roid ball. It was what it was. We moved on, and it without a whole lot of negative connotation.
Cheating in baseball goes back to the beginning of the game. Whether you want to talk about pine tar, juice and balls, stealing signs in a variety of way. And look, it might add 10 feet, 15 feet, whatever. You still have to have great hand-eye coordination. What those guys did was remarkable. And for McGuire to say he was using it to help him recover, I kind of believe that. He was already a big dude. Barry Bonds went from a little skinny guy to what he turned into. But at the same time, you still got to hit the baseball. There are legal things that you could use to gain strength and illegal things that you can do. And it's almost like Lance. Everybody was cheating. It was who was cheating the best. The idea
how did we
that
not
there's
know? How did we not know? I mean, did we, in the back of our minds, did we look at McGuire and go, holy crap, this dude's juiced to his eyeballs. Look at the muscle.
Are you kidding?
His ears are flexing.
He had it in his locker. He wasn't hiding it from anybody.
No, that was Androstene Dione. Different thing.
Well, I mean, we couldn't say Androstene Dione back then. All of us media types are calling it, well, and he's got the Android in his office, in his locker. Yeah, he said it was no big deal, so he took him at his word. What they did for baseball, though, the message that you saw last night, as far as from the strike and when they didn't have a World Series to where baseball was and what those guys did. And it should have been Ken Griffey Jr. It could have been, the idea of everything. Yeah, well, I mean, and watching Ken Griffey play. And by the way, if you were in HEB right now next to Kerry Wood, would you know that was Kerry Wood? Hell no. That guy.
He's on a diet.
Yeah, I mean, that guy, I was like, that's Kerry Wood now? But again, you look at all of that and what they did for baseball, And where baseball is headed right now, as we sit here once again with no baseball, and you got the owners and the players going back and forth, they are heading right back down that same rabbit hole that was there in 1994 that didn't come out until McGuire and Sosa. And non-baseball fans, did they hit another one last night? I remember, you could be watching anything and they would break in because, we didn't have Twitter back then or the Facebooks. I forget if they covered it on MySpace, but, you think about everything that was going on across all, baseball fans, non-baseball fans, non-sports fans knew what was going on with that home run chase and what it did for baseball. And chicks dig the long ball.
We were watching the story, and they kept talking about the problems. Remember the lockout of '94 and all the things that went along with it. It just seems so strangely topical as we sit today, listening to baseball players and owners and how bad the state of affairs is. This was 22 years ago, and we're still dealing with literally the same sentences that are being said today were being said back in '98. It was almost surreal to go, we've been dealing with this for that long in baseball, but we have. And we get today that Rob Manfred, who went from last Tuesday saying, yeah, he's 100% sure baseball is going to happen, to today, no, he's not 100% sure that baseball is going to happen, after it appears the offers have come to a stalemate, though most that are involved say that it's not over. Baseball can't get out of its own way, and people way back then were saying baseball is dead, yet here we sit again. If they don't find a way to come back, and I think Jason and I are both on record of saying they will, if they don't, could this be the death blow? Or is baseball, and no matter what you do, how you do it, whether you're stealing pitches or roiding up, it doesn't matter. Baseball will continue with its fragmented but consistent fan base that it's just going to keep going and going, and owners realize it, and they're not going to give an inch.
They're not going to give an inch, and baseball isn't dead. It's far from it. You look at the billions of dollars that baseball makes on an annual revenue, guaranteed salaries, 5, 8, 10-year contracts, fully guaranteed. NFL players are jealous of baseball players. NBA players are jealous of the money that is in baseball, and they could piss away this summer. They could piss away next summer, and when baseball comes back, baseball will have a rough regrowth period, but eventually we'll all forget because we'll have baseball back. Unless the NBA does do this permanent shift to their calendar and other sports start shifting around what the fallout is from COVID. Because if we have basketball as a distraction through June, because you look at baseball now, with the exception of the purist types, and a lot of them are dying, and there are very few of the young purist types. But when you look at, we all pay attention around opening day and in the first week or so, and then, May, June, July, depending on where your team is, you might pay attention to some games every week, but not every day unless you're playing fantasy. And even then, you're not paying attention to your beloved team. In most cases, you're paying attention to your fantasy team because you don't have anything else. For a lot of us in San Antonio, based on 12 years of doing afternoon radio here on ESPN San Antonio, talking to enough people, once the Spurs are out, they start paying attention to their baseball team, unless their baseball team is out. And if the baseball team is good, they're all in on their baseball team, whether it's the Astros or the Rangers or the Red Sox or the Yankees, and until football starts. And unless, of course, you're in the playoffs. Then you really watch during the playoffs. So October matters and April matters right now for most people when it comes to baseball.
The average fan is in baseball right now, as an article published in 2017, is 57 years old. That is not a number that MLB should be proud of.
And again, if their average fan was 57 3 years ago, they're now 60. And, that puts them in a category where they probably aren't going to be allowed to COVIDly go to a baseball game. Because they're all in the category. That high risk one that says stay away. So it is going to be interesting to see how it how it all plays out. But baseball is far from dead. They make way too much money on the regional sports carriers. But if the NBA does shift, and if hockey shifts, and now more baseball season is shared with some other sports, it might be harder for them to come back. They won't come back strong like they were, but there will be people jonesing to watch some baseball. I'm jonesing to watch some baseball right now. I'm excited. That college league that's going to start over at the Wolf July 3rd is their first game, just to have something. I mean, I don't know if you've watched any of the Korean baseball. I'm watching it. It might be some of the worst baseball I've ever seen as far as what is considered pro baseball. I mean, that is some bad baseball.
My nephew, I was together at a funeral over the week, and I was, everybody wants to talk to me about sports as they come by, and I have a nephew that's gotten in a Korean baseball fantasy league, a rotisserie league. Like, dude, I'm hard up, but I ain't that hard up, man. I can't get into that, and I also can't set my alarm early enough to watch these damn games. The first pitch is like 6 a.m., man. Who's in the right mind's getting up to watch baseball from Korea at 6 a.m.?
Oh, no, it finishes. It starts at like 3.
Yeah. See, yeah, man, you got $100 on that. You're getting up to watch.
Your first bathroom break comes at about 3 a.m., right?
Yeah, those several. Yeah, but that's a personal issue, and I don't want to turn on the light. When we get back, we brought up the NBA. They're charging forward to play, but there is a faction led by the flat earther Kyrie out there that might want to derail the beginning of basketball in furtherance of the Black Lives Movement. Certainly a worthy idea from Kyrie about furthering the ideas and the platform, but is this the best venue to do it? Let's talk about the NBA as they try to get back into regular season play down there in Orlando coming up here next, here on the Blitz. 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
Nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. If you get arrested, somebody gets arrested, a friend, a family member, you want to get out of jail fast, the best way to do that is by calling my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail. You don't want to be forced into a PR bond either. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option, AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans available, offer a free shuttle service. Of course, they're discreet and confidential and open 24/7 with offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. License number 149. Call AA Best Bail. 210-225-2121, 225-2121, or online at mybestbailbonds.com.
It's a good thing this video game is rated mature because it's going to be babysitting the kids tonight.
That man is playing Galaga. Thought we wouldn't notice, but we did.
San Antonio's sports leader, 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM. All day, every day.
It's true, things are bigger in Texas. Check it out, our foods, our sports, and yes, our hearts too. Getting hungry? Go to porkrindrecipes.com to make something big tonight. Award-winning chef Tim Byers and Southern Recipes small batch pork rinds are cooking with heart. Each time you watch or share their newest video, they'll donate $5 to Blessings in a Backpack, helping kids who are food insecure right now. And you can find Southern Recipes small batch pork rinds at H-E-B. Southern Recipes small batch. It's a different kind of rind.
Napa know-how. Father's Day knickknacks. That funny mug, ironic tie, or worse, IOU coupon books. It's time to get yourself something you want, Dad, like a Craftsman half-inch corded impact wrench for $99.99. It's the perfect gift to give to yourself. And while you're here, don't forget to shop all our great deals on Craftsman tools. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating Napa Auto Parts stores while supplies last. Offer ends 6/30/20.
Everyone's loving what Diamonds Direct is doing right now. It's the best stimulus plan ever. 5 years, 0 interest financing on any purchase with no money down. It's Diamonds Direct's way of helping you make your money go further, as we all look forward to better days. Just pick any item in Diamonds Direct showcases. Get the amazing value price you know we're known for. Make no down payment and spread your payments over 5 years without paying a dime in interest. That means a $6,000 designer ring is yours for just $100 a month. This makes everything more affordable at a time when we need it most. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, bands, colored gemstones, designer fashion jewelry. Take the price, divide by 60, and that's your payment. You can even finance the sales tax. Celebrate summer, celebrate life, celebrate love with Diamonds Direct's most spectacular offer ever. 5 years, 0 interest with nothing down. Now for a limited time on approved credit. Diamonds Direct.
At the shops at La Cantera.
If you can't sleep because of annoying knee pain, that's a problem. If you stop running because your feet always hurt, that's a problem. If your elbow, shoulder, and neck pain make it impossible for you to do your job, that is a problem. And it's time to finally do something about it. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett from Arasti. At Arasti, we fix pain fast. No medications, no injections. Arasti treatment is completely natural and non-invasive. Plus, we accept most insurance plans. There's a location near you. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
At Sprint, we understand saving money for your family is now more important than ever. That's why we're offering our best unlimited deal. Switch and get 4 lines of unlimited for just $100 a month. That's right, 4 lines for $100. Plus, the plan includes Hulu, 500 megabytes of mobile hotspot, DVD quality streaming, and more. If that's not enough, to really amp this up, we're including 4 amazing iPhone 11s on us when you trade in iPhone 6s or newer in any condition. And now, Sprint customers enjoy access to expanded coverage on the T-Mobile network. Shop from the comfort of your home at Sprint.com, call 800-SPRINT-1, or come see us in our stores. Phone after $29.17 per month credit for 18 months credit. Apply within 2 bills. If canceled early, remaining balance due. Requires new account. Unlimited basic after 7/31/21. Pay $35 per month per line with autopay. Data deprioritization during congestion. Coverage and offer not available everywhere. Excludes taxes, fees, and roaming. Speed maximum use rules. $30 activation fee and restrictions apply.
It's the Blitz. He's Jason Minix. I'm Rob Thompson. You're on ESPN San Antonio. Hey, Father's Day is Saturday. Go get registered right now. Win your daddy some squala. How about $1,000 from Southern Recipes Small Badge Pork Rinds? The finest pork rinds in the world can also be delivered to your home for a year's supply. Yes, sir. It's easy to win. You just got to register. Go to ESPNSA.com, and somebody's going to have the finest pork rinds in the world, along with $1,000 to spend. And all they had to do was go register at ESPNSA.com for their daddy. The NBA has consistently worked forward to playing. I don't think there was ever much doubt, initially. And as we've moved forward, the bubble idea was first floated. It has come to fruition. It looks like the NBA is going to get going. But as we get closer and closer, some of the players that have remained in the background are starting to speak up regarding coming back to play. Now, this doesn't have anything to do with the coronavirus, the reason all this is going on, but it does have to do with the recent social events that have gone on. And the Black Lives Matter has certainly taken over sports and our society as we sit today. And it is understandable that people want to do everything they can to further the movement in any way possible. But Kyrie gathered 80 NBA types together over the weekend to discuss the idea of not playing because there's a concern that it would take away from the platform and the necessity of moving this forward now. But the reaction to that has been swift. It has been strong, from the likes of Stephen A. Smith to even Charles Barkley this morning on Get Up. And lots of folks coming out and saying that's the wrong tack to take. In fact, NBA needs to play to further the idea and get the message out that so desperately needs to be brought out.
Well, and again, I think if you're playing, you do have more of an opportunity, I would think. Steven Jackson says the NBA shouldn't play right now. It's detrimental. Kyrie, and I'm thinking, okay, it's going to be interesting to see, okay, the teams that have a chance at a championship, are they viewing this differently than, say, teams that don't? 8 games and then maybe some playoffs, or I don't go and I miss 8 game checks. Could I survive off of that? Charles Barkley, who is never lost for words on Get Up this morning, said it would be a catastrophic mistake to not play.
On the 90-minute call, Irving reportedly made the case that resuming the season would be detrimental to the players' work on social justice and police reform. Earlier this hour, Stephen A. Smith joined us with these thoughts.
In the end, that's what this comes down to. The protests are definitely legitimate and profound. We get all of that. We can't ignore it. Pay attention to it. But what's the end game? We have to answer those questions. And without answers to those questions, we damn sure shouldn't be talking about not going back to work because of racial oppression. If that's the case, black folks would have been unemployed for centuries now. Let's keep our eyes on the prize here. I don't think guys are doing that right now. Not with the kind of statement that Kyrie Irving and Dwight Howard have made. And that's why I disagree with them.
Now, Jason, let's stop right here. I want to stop this right here. I want to ask you a question. If I ask you, let's say Friday, I said, Jason, it looks like the league the players are, all unified under Chris Paul's leadership, and certainly the union and Silver have worked together and they're headed in the right direction. But if there was one NBA player that would zig where everybody else was zagging. If I ask, if you looked across the vast expanse of the 600 some odd NBA players, is there one that might be the one that says, hooray, I'm for the other team, look at me, listen to me? Who would that be? And I guarantee you would have gotten the answer that we found out on Saturday. Kyrie.
Kyrie, I'm trying not to go, well, he's the flat earther one, right?
He's the flat earther one. Yes.
But,
yeah, that's exactly
right?
it. He zigs when we zag.
I look at the idea of not coming back. Individual, if you're worried about COVID, that's one argument. But visibility is what every movement needs. And, Twitter, you're reaching how many people? Your followers, then you get the retweets, things certainly can go viral. But when so many tweets look and read the same, does it lose some of the steam of the message? Where if you're playing and, now all of a sudden we're talking about games and the message on, say, a LeBron shirt, before a game doing the interviews. I don't know how they're going to do it. I mean, but the idea of now you're out there playing all the time. You're talking about basketball. You're talking about other things. You're going to generate more news as opposed to, the same thing that was said yesterday. So now it doesn't get news coverage. I mean, you want to keep a story going. That is how you keep the story going.
And, the sad thing is you're going to take a lot of abuse for this. And no idea is bad in this era. This is uncharted water. We're trying to find our way to a socially just country. And if you've got an idea, throw it out there. But, but for Kyrie especially, he always seemed to be just a contrarian. He was the guy that I'm sure if his family was a fan of one team, he chose the other just to have something to argue about. It just felt like if anybody was going to do it, it's Kyrie, and it's a worthy discussion to be had, and it's worthwhile to have people that do this. But I'm also supportive of those like Barkley and Stephen A. that came on and said, well, that we appreciate you participating, but that's a dumb idea. We're just going to go ahead and move on. If you have another idea, the forum is open. But right now, we're headed into play. And it seemed like Kyrie was trying to find a way to insert himself into this because that's what Kyrie does. And he chose the wrong tack at the wrong time.
Well, and how much of it, you try to take a guy on their intentions and think that they're genuine. But when you kind of wonder, all right, weren't you one that also was a little worried about just an 8-game restart in playoffs? You know what I mean? And so now it seems like, all right, now I got a reason. I don't know. I mean, it's just, and again, I don't want to question what's in, what his motives are. But it did seem to, I mean, one thing for us to disagree with it when you got Charles Barkley saying, dude, you got to go play. That carries a lot more weight than what I say, than what Stephen A. Smith says when you get other players going, all right, yeah, you want to start a coalition. I get that. You want to be the leader of this coalition. I get that
more
too.
More power to you. Take it.
The reality is, was it Patrick Beverley that tweeted out, LeBron says we're playing.
That was the truthiest truth ever told. Yes, if LeBron says we playing, we playing. And that was truth from the very beginning. LeBron was the one they had to win over. And remember, early on, he said, well, I'm not sure I want to play in front of nobody. And how quickly he changed, how quickly he backtracked and said, well, I think we'll be able to go ahead and play without him. Because everybody realized that they have to get back on the court, because not only to get the country moving again, but to further the Black Lives Matter movement. You guys will have a platform 3-4 nights a week of unending coverage and from the right people at the right time. And you want us to not play, Kyrie? That just seems ridiculous, because it is the campfire that everybody will gather around because we're so desperate for it. The venue would be perfect. Kyrie just needs to find something else to fight.
And again, I look at, Kyrie, I know you watch Sports Center. You're seeing what's going on in baseball right now. The idea that you've got billionaires fighting with millionaires, not wanting to play, and how angry baseball fans are because as fans, we are so desperate to watch the games that you are lucky enough to be able to play professionally and make a damn good living doing it. The idea that you could do so many things right now helping bring us together for the common good, and then you've got a message as well. Kyrie, fight for 40 games as opposed to 8 or 16 or 20. You've got an opportunity to be a part of something so good. Don't be like baseball and screw it up.
Don't get like baseball and screw it up. Only baseball can survive this long by how they've screwed it up consistently. That's the message. We just expect it now from them. Now, let's get to the nuts and bolts of playing down in Orlando, because now, as things are getting closer and closer to playing, there's concern like, if we're going to have a bubble, if the idea is to put everybody on a bubble, shouldn't everybody be inside the bubble? I mean, do we allow people to come and go that do the cleaning and do the taking care of and all of that? And that doesn't seem like a bubble to me. Is that a logical argument from players that are looking at this, just the minutia of this is what's going to happen? Is that an argument that you would go, yeah, that's something we might need to consider? Maybe everybody should be in the bubble.
Well, yeah, except for, again, people that have gone to work every day, they understand they're going to work every day. My wife, who works at a hospital, goes to work every day and gets screened at work every day. Rob, last week, you were taking care of some family business. You go into a hospital, you probably got screened walking in there, right? If they even let you in.
Yep.
So there's some things you could do daily. And the idea is to do as much as you humanly can do. But, when you start talking about, athletes, they're used to going away for training camp. They're used to doing some things. I mean, they're talking about what they're going to do with the reporters. I worry that there might not be enough media to cover all these things, because while the media will be inside the bubble, it's not like the NBA is picking up the tab. I don't know if you checked rates there at Disney World or anything, but, imagine there's a lot of media companies that saying, I ain't paying for that. You want me you 60 hotel nights in a row at Disney? You know what I mean? I just wonder, is it feasible to think we could lock everybody into this bubble, everybody associated with it, and not let anybody leave? You got 23, 25, 28-year-old guys, single. You can't leave. You can't go anywhere, for 60 days. That's boot camp. Have
they made a decision, Jason? Have they made a decision as to individual teams, broadcasters? They're not going to be there. They're going to do it remotely, aren't they?
They're going to do it remotely. I know I don't know if decisions have been made. I don't know, like for the Spurs and for like the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Mavericks, do they go to the Fox Broadcast Center in Dallas and do the games there, or? Kind of like the golf over the weekend, where Jim Nantz was actually in Fort Worth, but everybody else was most everybody else was down in Orlando. Like Nick Faldo was at the studio in Orlando. But I don't believe that the individual broadcasters are going to be on site. I don't know if the national broadcasters are going to be on site.
It's a tough call there, and that's all these questions that have to be asked. And it's certainly different to now hear the debate as to, well, are the high-end players, the max players, are they going to be allowed to go dine out with their family? And what about the rookies? Are they going to be in the Motel 6 there around the corner, locked into their room while the stuff is going on? Now we're going to start to see the personality conflicts and the hierarchy of the NBA start to be made very apparent as they start arguing who gets to rooms and who gets to go out.
Who gets a room to themselves, who has a roommate, because you got some that are going to want to go to the clubs. You got some that are going to want to go to nice dinners. You're going to have some that just want to go to the mall. I
got another question. What happens if they test and they test positive for the antibody? They've had it. Are they allowed to leave the bubble? Do they get to go to the club?
I don't know. I saw on 60 Minutes yesterday, they were talking about, universities coming back. And obviously that's something that's very interesting to me because I've got a college student who,
me too.
In a month, I'm supposed to move her out to Phoenix so she can go to grad school at Arizona State. Well, they were talking at North Carolina. North Carolina is going to open up, and they're leaving two dorms aside, two dorm buildings aside for students that test positive. That's where they're going to go and quarantine. That is their plan right now. Is we're bringing everybody back. We're going to try social distancing. You're going to have to wear masks in the classroom. You're going to have to do all these kind of things, but they're setting aside two dorms for the anticipated number of positive cases. Let them all quarantine together. Because how do you take college kids in dorm rooms and tell college kids who are all about socializing that you can't socialize?
I would not want that dorm next semester.
Are you kidding? That might be the cleanest college dorm in the history of college dorms.
So it's going to have some new paint, that's for sure. What dorm am I in? You mean the quarantine hall?
It's probably going to get a new name before next semester anyway, so it might as well be quarantine hall. The Q.
Truer words.
You're going
never
over
spoken.
to the Q.
Truer words are never spoken. I missed the long conversation regarding University of Texas, and that certainly is an ongoing discussion as the college athlete now is taking very much an understanding of their value, not only to the universities, but to society and the platforms they have to offer, demanding change. This is going to be a wave that we're going to see a lot of. Texas was on the forefront, but you get the feeling that we're going to see this on a lot of campuses sooner rather than later.
And I know you were out all last week, and you missed this discussion. And Texas was in the news with the Eyes of Texas, and until Friday, I never knew the history of that song or what any part of that. It's just always been the spirit song for UT. Every university, or most every university, is going to have some sort of history that included slavery, and especially in the South, whether you're talking about Texas, you're wearing an A&M shirt today. A&M. By the way, I saw some weird Twitter video about something going on campus. I need an Aggie to explain to me what was going on in that video, because I have no idea. And I've asked a couple of Aggie friends, and they had no idea either. But there was something going on in College Station. But you look at Alabama, Auburn, schools in Florida, schools in the Carolinas. The history is there. It's going to be interesting to see all the different changes that are going to be made. We're already seeing it at Clemson, thanks to efforts led by Deshaun Watson.
It is going to continue as we beg for them to play for us. They have their own demands, and I think they're going to have to be met, or there will be continued players not playing, transferring away for reasons other than football. It wouldn't surprise me a bit. I don't know what city in the country has the most ESPY nominees from high schools. San Antonio might be in the top 2 or 3. I don't know of anybody who's had more. There is another San Antonio high school kid nominated for an ESPY. We'll tell you who and where and how coming up next. You're on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com. I got a question for you as you got up on this Monday morning. Were you comfortable with your health? Do you feel good about how much you weigh? Or are you like me? You woke up a little bit too tired, snort all night long. Pants don't fit the way they used to. You got the fat side of the closet and you're wearing those clothes now. You go to the doctor and the doctor says you're healthy, but the fact is you don't feel healthy. The numbers are good to the extent that the doctor says, I don't have to give you any medication yet, but if we keep going down the same road, hypertension is something you need to live with, diabetes is something else, or maybe it's just the bad back you've got from carrying too much weight. If you don't feel good and you're tired of it, I'll tell you what, losing weight's a great step forward in your general health. I found that out when I went to visit the Institute for Functional Health and met Dr. Torres. I was never a dieter, never had been, had no desire to get on a diet, and this isn't a diet. It is a complete lifestyle overhaul. And I'll tell you what, if you'll jump on with the plan, and you'll find the Institute for Functional Health is a teammate of yours that will offer you a playbook to follow so that you can feel better in a remarkably short amount of time. You need to jump on this bandwagon. I'll tell you, it's the best thing I've ever done. I went and met the doctor back in September, now down over 40 pounds. It isn't the easiest thing I've ever done by any stretch, but I'll tell you what, I have never felt better, and anything worthwhile is never easy, but I've changed my life, and I want that for you. As we go through these times where health is on the forefront of the news and our thoughts, take some proactive moves that'll make sure that you stay healthy for the long term, and the first thing you can do is lose weight. Give Dr. Torres a call. Go meet him and meet all the great people over at the IFH. You're going to love them. And they've got all the precautions in place. You can televisit. I have a televisit scheduled for Wednesday when I meet with Dr. Torres again. Here's the number for your free consultation. Find out what I know. Here's the number, 210-468-1891. Again, 210-468-1891. It is absolutely free, and it is eye-opening. Dr. Torres will put together a program made specifically for you, and you will lose weight and feel better. It is virtually impossible not to, because so many things get easier when you get a little bit skinnier. You can look good in fashionable clothes and everything that goes along with it. Check out the website. Great knowledge there. InstituteForFunctionalHealth.com. Make the call. 210-468-1891. I know if you make the call and you jump in, you're going to feel better. You're going to live longer. You're going to do everything that you'd hope to be, and drop some pounds. Find out what I know and make the call. And I know one thing for sure. You're certainly going to thank me later.
His high school counselor said he'd never amount to anything. Lucky guess.
I know that we have identified ourselves as a marching band to nowhere.
Dan Levitard, weekdays 9 till noon, 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM. All day, every day.
Nobody beats the low prices at Mother's Window Tint, your car, stereo, and auto security headquarters. Nobody beats our prices on high-quality performance window tint and expert installation. It's essential to protect yourself and your family from the sun's hot rays and car thieves. Save $100 off regular winter prices when you purchase the Mother's Window Tint and Alarm package. This is a deal. Save $100 off our regular winter prices now at the start of summer. Limited to stock on hand. For 36 years, Mother's Window Tint, home of the Tint and Alarm Special. Want to make your car go thump, 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 mother thump. Premium car stereos on sale. Sony, Kicker, JVC, JBL, Diamond, Kenwood, Memphis Audio, all on sale. GPS, remote start systems, all on sale. Save $100 on the Mother's Window Tint and Alarm Special. Nobody beats the low prices at Mother's Window Tint, your car, stereo, and auto security headquarters. Mother's Window Tint, home of the Tint and Alarm Special. Remember, do it at Mother's and save.
Northeast Independent School District is now hiring and training school bus drivers. Whether you're looking for a new job, you're a retiree, or you're retired military, come help drive students to succeed and apply at Northeast ISD Transportation today. No experience is necessary, and you will get paid while earning your CDL and learning how to drive a school bus. The Northeast ISD Transportation Department is ranked as one of the top 100 school bus fleets in America, and our drivers receive exceptional pay and benefits, including health, dental, vision, and retirement. If you're looking for work, if you're retired from the military, or you simply want to make a difference in our community, apply now with the Northeast ISD Transportation Department. Join our team and discover Northeast ISD by calling 210-356-9229. That's 210-356-9229. Or you can text Drive Bus to 797979. That's text Drive Bus to 797979.
Guys, are you feeling more tired, run down? When you spend so much time indoors like we've been, your body can't create all the energy it used to, making you feel sluggish. Listen, Ageless Male, the #1 brand in male enhancement, has a solution. Ageless Male Core Energy. This isn't a caffeine spike. This is male-targeted nutrition working on the cellular level, helping to recharge your body's natural batteries. so you can power through the day. Core Energy is coming to Walmart, but you can call now to order your bottle. Hurry, and you'll get a second bottle free. Plus, you'll get a free bottle of vitamin C and free shipping, too. Just call 1-800-489-4161. Ready for a recharge? Try Ageless Male Core Energy and hurry for your 3 free gifts. Just call 1-800-489-4161. 1-800-489-4161. 1-800-489-4161.
It's the Blitz here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM. Blitz brought to you by the Thompson Law Firm. An experienced personal injury attorney is but a phone call away. Jason Thompson. The number to remember, 210-900-0400. If you're dealing with an insurance company and you do not have an attorney representing you, you are giving money. You are losing money. Make the call, 210-900-0400. Jason, again, another San Antonian has been nominated for an ESPY. I know of at least one other basketball team, one back in the early 2000s, John Jay, with that miracle shot to get themselves to the state finals there in Austin in the UILs. And now we got another young lady who's up for an ESPY for a pretty cool little TikTok video she put out there a couple weeks back.
Well, and let's not forget Trinity University and the miracle that they
That's
had.
Right.
But Mabry Williams, who is a Johnson soccer player, and when you see her video, you are going to have backyard envy. She is nominated for an ESPY for a trick shot that she did. Go watch the video. I tweeted it out. We'll tweet it out. You can just go for the favorite moments that you can't stop watching. And she is up for her video where she's in her backyard at the 30-yard line, dribbling the basketball on her foot, and then kicks the ball over her head, and it goes to the basket by her pool.
And 94.
Is that
It's incredible. Go
cute?
vote.
It absolutely is. Go check it out. We want her to head out there to, I guess nobody's going anywhere for this ESPY, but want her to win the prized crystal that is the ESPY. 6 o'clock hour shot full of fun. If you're looking for a treasure in the Rockies, you can go ahead and stop. They found it, and maybe you want to check with Uncle Charlie, see what he's got hidden in his roof, because there's some treasure out there. Some was found. We'll tell you about them baseball cards that are worth a lot of money. We're talking sports coming up. You're on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
We're here to tell you about Boost Mobile's new upgraded network.
That's right. Stronger signal, faster speeds, and more coverage.
So now you can get everything you want faster, like Pitbull's music.
No, the new upgraded network means you can download music faster than ever before. It doesn't mean that it will make Pitbull songs faster.
Oh, so this isn't the song.
No, this is the song.
Well, this is embarrassing.
Step up with Boost Mobile's new upgraded network. Stronger signal, faster speeds, more coverage than before. Switch and get 4 unlimited lines for $25 per line per month and 4 free LG K51 phones. Access to upgraded network requires compatible device. New customers only. 4-line offer requires at least 1 port and activation from eligible carrier. Free phone limited to 1 per line while supplies last. Customers using more than 35 gigabytes of data during billing cycle may be deprioritized during times of congestion. Offers and coverage not available everywhere. Additional terms and restrictions apply. See boostmobile.com or retailer for full details.
Your source to local news in San Antonio begins with the San Antonio Express News. We've collected, written, and shown the stories that matter most to San Antonio. Look no further than the Express News to continue to provide information and strength to the community. Everyday news stories are spoken, providing hope and inspiration. The Express News is committed to providing timely and accurate reporting to help make a difference in the community we live in. Support local. We are San Antonio. We are the Express News. Come read us today at expressnews.com.
Napa know-how. Father's Day knickknacks. That funny mug, ironic tie, or worse, IOU coupon books. It's time to get yourself something you want, Dad, like a Craftsman half-inch corded impact wrench for $99.99. It's the perfect gift to give to yourself. And while you're here, don't forget to shop all our great deals on Craftsman tools. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating Napa Auto Parts stores while supplies last. Offer ends 6/30/20.
We're all in uncharted territory looking for ways to support our communities. At Dell Technologies, we're making sure small businesses have the right tech solutions. Dell Technologies advisors are here for you, from helping small businesses stay connected and productive while working remotely with Windows 10 and Microsoft Teams, to rapidly deploying remote work solutions that limit upfront costs with Dell Financial Services. We're standing by you every step of the way. Call 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Trade pros. Whether you specialize in service or new construction, Ferguson knows firsthand how much work goes into a long day on the job, which is why we're committed to offering the products and solutions to get every job.
Newtown want a title?
Over 1,000 locations, an unmatched selection of specialty products, tools, and supplies. Our pro pickup and same or next day delivery. You can trust that doing business with Ferguson will be the easiest part of your hard day's work. Visit Ferguson.com to find a counter location near you.
Hey, this is Tyron Smith, Dallas Cowboy. You're listening to San Antonio Sports Leader, 1250 ESPN San Antonio at 94.5 FM.
Where the pros play. KCDC San Antonio. Jason Minix, Rob Thompson, the Blitz.
It is the Blitz here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM on the go at ESPNSA.com. And if you're safely ensconced in your living room office, hey, go check out our Facebook feed. You can see our YouTube channel there as we broadcast live. And if you're looking at it, let's work clockwise up on about, I'd say 2 o'clock is Jason Minix. I'm sitting down there about 5 o'clock. I'm Rob Thompson. RJ Ochoa about 8 o'clock, and James Pledger about 10. Thanks for dialing us in. We got an hour of fun headed your way. RJ, welcome aboard. Good to see you, old friend. Thanks for filling for me last week. It was, I'm glad you were there. It was a week full of fun shows.
It was. Had a great time. Learned a lot about Jason and Pledge, as I usually do.
I'm so sorry.
Together, we picked a lot of things on your behalf. I hope that's cool.
I noticed. I'm a huge I'm an Orlando City. What are they? The Pumbas?
Sure. Pride.
The Pride.
Pride. And we partly picked them because their color scheme matched your NBA team of record for this postseason run. You're all in on the Sacramento Kings, Rob. So get hyped.
I'm a huge Buddy Hield fan. Yeah, I'm down. So basically,
it's exactly what I said.
I'm actually a Buddy Hield fan. I think the guy's destined. And if I had to wear purple, I guess I can wear it for both teams. Before we start talking sports, did you guys see the story about the lost baseball cards that were found in an attic in New Jersey? Have you seen this story? This is amazing.
Is this the plot to like a Disney Channel original movie, and they like come to life and teach the kids how to play baseball?
It feels that way. You know, I was gone over the last week, and I think the theme for last week was buried treasure, because not only was that, but the $2 million that had been buried in the Rockies was finally found after a 10-year search. And people go, what? Well, we'll get to that. First of all, this is the article that I found. And just to read it sounds hilarious. James Michioni. This is an article by Alden Gonzalez at ESPN, dateline June the 13th. Was born and died in the same place, a modest 2-story house in hilly neighborhood of Boonton, New Jersey. He never married, never became a father, never owned a car. He walked to a nearby job as a high school custodian and a chemical factory worker, leaving his small working-class town only when called to serve in Europe for 3 years during World War II. He was a diehard Yankee fan, but also of Jackie Robinson. Spent most of his life curating a treasure trove of baseball cards that experts believe to be the most extraordinary private collection in the hobby's history. It turns out there are over 2,000 different items that are going to be up for auction. We're talking about autographed Babe Ruth. We're talking about Jimmy Fox. We're talking about Lou Gehrig and Pete Rose in this guy's attic. It's the most amazing story. Can you imagine being nephew to Uncle Jimmy, as he has left you millions? Can you imagine what these things are going to go for auction? The only reason I know that is the dude that paid how much money? $60,000 for the 61st baseball. That was it the first baseball that?
Yeah, no. I know the record baseball was 2.7. He won at auction, but after all the fees, it was a little over $3 million. I saw Pat McAfee tweet last night, I can't wait to have FU money like that where I can spend $3 million at auction on a baseball. It's true. I mean, you ever go down to House of Cards and Collectibles over there on Vance Jackson, and you see everything that's in there, and you go, well, that card is, this, and this one is that. And it's an incredible business, man. That, it makes you wonder what's in the attic at your grandparents' house.
man, you just want to go dig through that stuff. And every time a story like this happens, invariably you go, I need to go check and see what I got. And you go back and you go, I got nothing. I got nothing. I tried to be a collector of baseball, football cards back in the day. I didn't know what I was getting. I have a lot of like Jim Beer, 2 years with the Cincinnati Bengals, and I have like 4 of them. Like, why would I have 4 of this guy?
Got a bunch of Jordan cards.
Yeah, but the problem with those Jordan cards is there are so many of them that to have any kind of value, you have to have the right ones. And none of us knew what the right ones were going to be, except for Uncle Jimmy way back in the 20s. And when he had the foresight to not only get Lou Gehrig's signature on a card, but to tuck it away and hermetically seal it in paper and hide it away for 50, 75 years. It's the most extraordinary story. I could not get over it until I heard about this. Now, I vaguely remember the origins of this. There's this art collector down in, I think he's in Santa Fe or Taos, somewhere in New Mexico, who 10 years ago, I kid you not, went and hid a treasure chest worth like $2 million in antiquities. Like he put like Mayan gold and gold doubloons and stuff that he'd collected. And then he released like this cryptic kind of treasure map poem that would helping people to try to go find it. That was 10 years ago. And the reason I heard about the finish of this was I heard an NPR story from the people that had been spending 10 years rescuing the idiot hikers who'd gotten themselves in some kind of distress up in the mountains trying to find $2 million. They were celebrating as much as the person, whoever that was, that actually found it. It was real. Found $2 million from a cryptic note written 10 years ago. Somebody finally stumbled on it and found it.
Yeah, it seems like something out of a movie, doesn't it?
Yeah, well,
in fact,
I think both of these do.
I kind of watched that movie last night on Netflix, The Blood 5. Where they go find that gold in Vietnam that they buried when their helicopter crashed. It is bizarre.
Would you ever? What is there anything that would make you go and search? Would there be something you go, you know what? That's a worthy effort. I think I'm going to go look. Is there anything that would draw you? Because I would never do anything like that. Never. No. I wouldn't go traipsing around from some kind of barely legible poem trying to tell me where to find gold. Because I'm not going to find it unless I literally just fall on it.
Well, and and what do you do with it once you find it? In all seriousness, you get a gold bar. What do you do with it?
Bury it.
After you buried it.
That's what you're supposed to do with gold, right? And then put
after you dig up the gold bar, kind of like watching this thing last night. They go over to Vietnam. They're going to go, dig up this gold that they buried there during the war. What do they do with it coming back? How do you get that through TSA? I had lots of questions watching this. How are they going to get this gold back? And then once you get it back, yes, that gold bar might be worth $45,000 a bar, but who's going to give you $45,000? It's not like I could walk into Frost Bank and say, here, can I have some cash, please? And then explain where you got the gold bar.
Dude, I think you can.
Have you guys seen that?
I don't know. I've never had a gold bar. Have you ever had a gold bar?
Have you guys seen National Treasure with Nick Cage?
Yeah, I have. It's a great documentary.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what this is. This is literally that. What did you do?
No, this is Goonies.
I don't know. This is National Treasure.
They were on the search for the pirate's treasure.
So if I have a gold bar, can't I just go and find a gold dealer and say, here, weigh this and write me a check? You'd think so?
Yeah. That's how gold works, which is why it's the one thing that you want.
I don't think the gold is the one thing I'd want. I'd rather have diamonds.
Why?
Have you looked at the stock market?
Well, that would be, to me, I think selling gold would be a whole lot easier than finding somebody that's going to buy a handful of diamonds.
Okay.
Well, no, you watch every movie. They all have diamonds. Everybody does diamonds.
Well, where do I'm going to walk into sales and, hey, I got a couple of diamonds here for you.
You walk in there and then you have them create something and you take it somewhere else and sell it.
What if you're because in my hypothetical, at least, there's bad guys chasing, because that's the way this always works.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah, so, if you've got gold or diamonds.
That's why I'm saying the diamonds thing works out better for me, because if I'm being chased, I can throw a bunch of diamonds in my pockets. What are you going to do with the gold? You can only run with so much gold in your hand.
All the best spy movies, all the best whodunits and cops and robbers, it's always diamonds. It's always the best one. Snatch, right? It was diamonds.
Yep.
Now,
Ocean's
when you
12.
talk, when you talk about searching for things, there was a place in Cuba that we used to go to in Guantanamo Bay when you could go there, and great diving there. And you would dive down. You would always find, if you were diving, you could always find boats that had sunk. Right? And you always kind of go through them a little bit to see what you could find. Never found anything. Nothing. But it's the idea that stuff is down there in the ocean, and you would see people that literally they go search for sunken boats for the treasures that were on them. I mean, people have been trying to find stuff for years, man. I think your chances are better going down to the Valero, getting a scratch-off ticket and winning $1 million than finding a treasure like what this dude found in Colorado.
Or the McDonald's Monopoly game. That's a great.
Well, see, that was all fake. If you haven't watched McMillions,
fake. It was strategic.
That was all BS. It was all BS. And did you finish the documentary on that yet?
I finished it. I watched it in like 2 days. I told all y'all about it.
No, I'd already watched it. Rob started it. Did you ever finish it, Rob?
Yeah, I finished it a month or so back.
Okay.
It was I met that guy in an Atlanta airport and I said no. What an idiot I was. I could have made some money.
You went to go to jail, Rob.
Money for nothing sitting around an airport bar. I mean, who can't you trust? I mean, who'd have thought that would have been real?
So you guys want to be part of my party that's going to go out and search for the rest of DB Cooper's money?
See, that just makes me think, what are we doing here? We should have been searching 10 years ago. If we'd have started then, now we had $2 million.
Have you ever used, I'm gonna guess Rob has a metal detector, like the beep.
I have.
No, I've never in my life.
I had one as a kid.
That's like, again, like if I was, how like sometimes you think like, man, if somebody asked me this question on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, I'd call and then the person. Well, like if somebody was like, who do you know, they would have used a metal detector.
Well, actually, I have. So
that's what I'm saying. I
didn't want to be pegged as one of those guys. I didn't want to be one of those metal detector dudes
wearing shoes and socks on the beach with your metal detector.
Pardon me.
It's
the strappy sandals that Velcro cross. With
the Air
socks.
Jesuses. Have to Air Jesus, a little bit of dress sock, a big floppy hat, and
like, hey Rob, what are you doing? Not now.
And you see those guys digging real quick, and like, oh, another one. Dang, you're moving, keep moving on. Yeah, that was me. I've actually done it and didn't find a damn thing.
That was the most disappointing thing about owning a metal detector when I was a kid. Was I go
you're
out
sure
and
you're gonna
search
find
for treasures? I knew I was gonna find some treasures. Or
You were
some
at
coins.
Canyon Lake, man. You found beer bottle tops.
Oh, and dip cans. Let's be clear.
Yeah. You find. Yeah,
There's a lot of things I found. None of it was gold.
It was gold to
The very
somebody
idea
at one point.
that I have been compared to one of them. I'm a metal detector guy. That's where I have reached. Hey, when we get back, the Mike Gundy, head football coach, Oklahoma State, a photo has surfaced of him at a boat dock there at Lake Texoma, spending the weekend with something that looks like boys having a good weekend out. But the shirt had a logo of a far right-wing radio station. Now, that's what the Wikipedia says about the station. I don't know anything about it, but the idea of a head football coach promoting something that is as political as this in this climate, what do you think is going to happen? And is this going to affect Oklahoma State? Let's look at Mike Gundy and his shirt when we get back. We're going to talk about Zeke. He has been diagnosed positive and the ramifications there. And how did we find out that he had tested positive for corona? Lots to talk about. So hang around with us. You're on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
If you're having issues at the house with your plumbing or your AC, there is one company to call, and that is Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heating, and AC at 210-651-5899. At Quarter Moon, they are experts in worst-case scenarios, big job, small job, residential, or commercial. Their service trucks are fully stocked, and they have all the equipment needed for any job. No commission, sales reps. They'll provide estimates and second opinions. They have a great experienced staff that has earned an A-plus ranking with the Better Business Bureau. And at Quarter Moon, they are green certified. I know I've used them many times throughout the years when I've had issues, especially at the old house. 210-651-5899, a great company to work with. 210-651-5899 or check the website quartermoonplumbing.com.
Coming up on Tuesday, is the NBA's bubble about to burst, and is MLB past the point of no return? Plus, college football's already fumbling their return, so what's the NFL's plan? Tuesday, Golic and Wingo.
1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
This is an advertisement. Paid non-attorney spokesperson Ricky LeBlanc admitted in Massachusetts only. Sokolov Law LLC, Chestnut Hill, Mass. Paul J. Morgan, Winter Park, Florida. Greg Hoppy, New Jersey. Michael Bro Gonzalez, admitted Louisiana. While this firm maintains joint responsibility, most cases of this type are referred to other attorneys for principal responsibility. Mesothelioma. If you know what mesothelioma is, you or someone you love has likely been affected by this devastating cancer. You may be entitled to compensation. Call Sokolov Law today. 1-800-736-2100. The only known cause of mesothelioma is asbestos exposure. Thousands of U.S. veterans and trade workers are at risk for the disease. Nearly $30 billion in court-ordered trusts has been set aside to pay money to asbestos victims. If you or a loved one has been diagnosed with mesothelioma, call now. You may be able to receive compensation without ever going to court or filing a lawsuit. Call for a free legal consultation at 1-800-736-2100. That's 1-800-736-2100. 1-800-736-2100.
It is the Blitz. You're on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM on the go at ESPNSA.com. The most important holiday of the year is the 25th. 21st is Father's Day. We will celebrate. And from my perspective, there's nothing bigger than Father's Day. You know, we've earned it. And if you want to pay your father back in the most appropriate way, go to ESPNSA.com. Get yourself registered for the Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rind Dad's Day Cash Giveaway. That's a mouthful, but it's worth it. You want a mouthful? How about a pork rind mouthful? The best pork rinds in the world. Your supply of that can be won along with $1,000 for your daddy. It's so easy to win. You just got to go to ESPNSA.com, click on the icon, and get yourself registered.
When you say that, and you talk about Father's Day being the most important holiday of the year, I think it's easy to say with your wife up in Dallas. Are your boys within earshot of you as you say that? Oh,
yeah. They can hear. Well, my youngest just was passing through as I said that, just to, further reinforce that, in fact, it is the most important holiday of the year.
I just want to reinforce the most important holiday of the year is Father's Day.
Just letting it out there. I mean, a fact is a fact.
My daughter just texted me, Halloween is the most important holiday of the year. No kidding.
Their priorities are so out of whack, I can't even begin.
I'm just asking because, for a random reason, what do you guys need? What do Rob and Jason need? In case anybody's listening, what do Rob and Jason need?
Rob needs bathroom candy.
I kind of think I need a pellet grill.
I won't name the brand, but that would be a lovely thing to find on a fine Father's Day morning.
It might sound like Traeger or Oklahoma Joe's that's available at Lowe's, or something along those lines.
I think that would be something appropriate for the most important holiday of the year. No, I don't need a tie. And and keep in mind, if you give us grilling accoutrement, whether it be the grill itself, it's the gift that keeps on giving, because I'm just going to use it to your benefit. So if you're going to give me a gift, you might as well get a little something there as well. And nothing better than a good barbecue toy. Nothing's better than a good barbecue toy.
Okay. I just want to
letting that out there.
Purposes.
The charcoal would be fantastic. That would be the wood pellet grill. That would be fantastic. No more charcoal, just to use the smoke right off that thing. Yeah, that'd be worthy. It'd be worthy. Just letting it out there. And we know a variety of places that advertise either on here, on our sister station, that have those available to you right now. Dope. Mike Gundy, is he in trouble? He's wearing a T-shirt of a radio station, a network that is well known for espousing things like Floyd was an Antifa introvert, troublemaker, and thing that the coronavirus was created in a lab in North Carolina. That's what that network proposes or has espoused. Mike Gundy is wearing their logo in a shirt that has gone viral, and Oklahoma State players, notably Chuba Hubbard, their stud running back, has said, "Can't stand for this. Cannot." When you see this, Jason, first of all, I think we can all agree that it's Mike Gundy's right to wear whatever the hell shirt he wants to wear, but you also have to suffer the ramifications for the decisions that you've made. And he can believe and say what he wants, but there is some comeback from that.
It does seem tone deaf on the part of Mike Gundy right now. Brett McMurphy tweets out a statement from Oklahoma State AD Mike Holder, quote, "This afternoon has been very disturbing. The tweets from the current and former players are of grave concern." The Oklahoma State president, his name is Burns Hargis, he tweets, "I hear and respect the concerns expressed by our black student athletes. This is a time for unity of purpose to confront racial inequalities and injustice. We will not tolerate insensitive behavior by anyone at Oklahoma State." Is the shirt that Mike Gundy was wearing, is that considered insensitive behavior? You know, I think for the president of the university to make a statement like that, insensitive behavior, not remarks, didn't say anything, but just wearing that shirt, insensitive when you're the head football coach at Oklahoma State University. At the very least, it is tone deaf on the part of Mike Gundy.
That does not sound like we have full support for our head football coach. It sounds like a college president that's going through the minutia of the most recent contract signed by Mike Gundy, trying to figure out how much is it going to cost me if I fire him for cause. That's what that sounds like, because you don't come back from what I just heard. I don't think he's a racist. You can't. I'll say it again. Now, I could be way wrong. I don't know the man. I know him by his mullet and what he said over the last 20 years, and he's been an entertaining guy. But to intimate that he might be a racist, I just find wrong. There's nothing that stands to that. But in this age, you're no longer allowed to be passively for. You have to fully support or you're not. It's one or the other. And he is not fully supporting the movement, and he will pay the price by wearing a shirt like this. It doesn't sound good for Coach Gundy.
Well, I mean, when you look at the photo that comes out of him wearing OAN, which I'd never heard of until today, Chuba Hubbard, their star running back, quote tweeted the photo and said, "I will not stand for this. This is completely insensitive to everything going on in society, and it's unacceptable. I will not be doing anything with Oklahoma State until things change." And he's got change in all capital letters. And the one thing that college athletes have today that they didn't have even 5 years ago is the ability to hit the transfer portal immediately without restriction. In the past, college coach says, do this and you got to do it, whether you like it or not. The college coaches used to have all the power. They don't have that kind of power. The players have the power and the voice and the ability to change something. I mean, he could hit the portal and be gone in a second, and there's not a damn thing Mike Gundy can do about it.
Now, the University of Iowa has reached a separation agreement with their strength coach. The Iowa AD, Gary Bartha, held a news conference today to announce that Hawkeye's former strength coach, Chris Doyle, has been released. They're giving him 15 months of salary to go and benefits and paying him enough to, not his entire contract, but they're going to pay him to go away. You have to, if there are, I don't even know the term. If you have anything negative in your history, it is coming back to get you. And Doyle is a prime example that no one is safe. This is a guy making nearly $800,000 a year that University of Iowa is willing to pay 15 months of salary to go away. You are toxic now for something that you have been that you've done in the past. It won't be the first time that a coach has gotten in trouble for something like this, and it's not going to be the last. I get the feeling Clemson assistant muddled through, survived for now, but I'm not sure how Gundy's going to survive this, because that certainly didn't sound like a ringing endorsement from those that hire him and pay him.
No, it wasn't. We've got your back, coach. It certainly wasn't. And like I said, tone deaf. I look at a quote. I mean, you think about college athletics is always about recruiting, whether you're talking about having the best facilities, this school gets new stuff, that school's going to get new stuff to try to one up it. Yeah. It's always about recruiting. Nick Moyle from the Express News, who covers UT, tweets out, Mike Gundy is out here rocking OANTs and alienating players while Tom Herman is marching and kneeling in the streets with his players. Parents, players, and recruits are all paying very, very close attention to these things. And, they should, and they are. This is going to hurt recruiting at Oklahoma State. I wonder how many recruits, guys that are committed to Oklahoma State, are going to back out of that. And high school seniors that have verbally committed, what is going to happen there? I wonder how many are going to rethink that decision.
Now, again, we've seen what Drew Brees on these very airwaves. I shamed him. We all shamed him. Shame on you, Drew Brees, for being as tone deaf as you were. He pivoted on a dime like a mobile quarterback should, reacted, fixed, apologized, and moved forward in an effort to unify. It still can be done for Gundy. It's not over yet, but he's going to have to react and throw himself prostrate on the ground and ask for forgiveness and promise to move forward and be more aware of what he's saying or doing, or he will be drummed out of college football. He will lose his job. You can just smell it in the air. This is the ball's in your court, Gundy. You're going to have to respond very quickly and very appropriately, or you're going to suffer what you deserve if that's the case.
And again, he has the right to wear whatever shirt he wants to wear. And, he should be allowed to, and I say allowed, I mean, you're allowed in this country. I mean, if you're, this political party, that political party, whatever your beliefs are there. But right now, as a head football coach, being aware of where most of your players are at right now, being careful and aware of the situation and the message you're trying to send. On Twitter, Texas Fly on the Wall tweets in on the Maddox McMurphy Irish Sports Bar Twitter feed, at Rob Thompson ESPN, at Jason Minix. So would people be up in arms over a CNN shirt instead? There is such a reach you have to stretch for. Fred VSA says OAN is a cable TV network on most cable systems who has replaced Fox News as the most conservative news outlet on most networks. I wonder if you get fired wearing a Fox News t-shirt.
We're in the midst of what's known as a radical revolution, where as the snowball gains speed, the initial radical ideas will become radicalized. And those that began to might not be radical enough as we keep moving through this. And when you go through a revolution like this, you have to choose a side. There's no in between anymore. You can't passively be pro this and stay passive about it. You are now asked, everyone is asked, are you with us? And if you are, tell us, because if you don't tell us you're with us, the assumption is you're against us. And he not only didn't answer in the affirmative, he put on a t-shirt that said, well, I'm kind of on the other side of this. You can say it, but you also have to suffer the ramifications for what you said or what you objectified. And he objectified this network by letting a photo being taken of him wearing it. It is a an absolute tacit, appropriate kind of thing to be said here, that can't do this anymore, man. You can't be on the other side of this and expect to be gainfully employed by a public institution. You can't.
And when you are in the spotlight, when you're a celebrity like Gundy is, you are aware of what your shirts, what the messaging on those, the advertising. I mean, you ever notice like during the Final Four, they're up there with water bottles with no labels on them, because somebody didn't pay for, this water or that water, or, how they cover up logos or this or that. And according to stuff I've seen on social media, apparently Mike Gundy famously fired a construction worker at his house because the contractor showed up wearing an Oklahoma Sooners t-shirt. And he fired him. He wouldn't let him work on his house because the t-shirt offended him. So, he's aware that
that's
shirts
hearsay,
matter.
but we're all for it.
I mean, I saw it on Twitter. Doesn't that make it true?
But I hope it's true. I think we can all agree that if you show up to work on my house wearing an OU shirt and I'm the OSU football coach, I understand what you were trying to do. And guess what? It backfired. You're fired. Get out of here. I have no problem with that. What's the old term? The enemy of my enemy is my friend. You know what? We can all band together and realize the true enemy here is OU football. I think we can all agree on that. So, yeah, go ahead and fire the dude, man. What are you thinking? That's perfectly appropriate there. RJ Ochoa is sitting in with us, and, he's got a day job, an outstanding one with Ocho Live and Blogging the Boys. And today's been a busy day for RJ Ochoa. As news breaks this morning that Zeke has tested positive for the coronavirus. He is not happy that news has broken. Let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys and the return to play and players testing positive for corona expected. But now that it's happening, what are your thoughts? We'll get into it next here on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
Jason Minix here for BSG, the company that brings you the best in home security and smart home technology. You want to protect what matters most, and that's your family and your home. And you can do that by calling BSG at 210-877-1222 or check the website bsgtexas.com. When we moved into the new house in January, BSG not only did my home security system, they did all the cool smart home stuff. They did my surround sound speaker system, my AC thermostat, outdoor lights, garage door opener, and it all works under one app. It is fantastic. I've been happy with my service. I had BSG install the same security system at my mother's house. You can get that same system now by going on to bsgtexas.com. For $59.99 a month, you can get the LCD smart wireless security system that includes 2 outdoor security cameras, the video doorbell, smart door lock, 24/7 monitoring, and the smart home app. No money down, no credit check. You think about most security systems are around $50 or so a month just to monitor your system. That doesn't include equipment. This does. BSG is a local company. They've been in San Antonio for over 20 years. No gimmicks, no high-pressure salespeople. Buy online and save at bsgtexas.com or call BSG 210-877-1222. Again, the website bsgtexas.com. We see you.
We hear you.
We denounce systemic racism,
We condemn violence,
inequity,
and injustice.
We pledge to use the power of our platform to spread facts and educate our communities.
We will be the change that we are calling for.
We are united for justice.
This ESPN San Antonio Sports Center update is brought to you by Alamo Water Softeners, 274-6122. I'm James Pudger, and in the NFL, according to the NFL Network's Ian Rappaport and Tom Pelissero, several Cowboys and Texans players have recently tested positive for COVID-19. Rapsheet also confirms that Cowboys running back Zeke Elliott is one of the players that tested positive via his agent, Rocky Arsenault, who also said Elliott is feeling good. None of the players are believed to have been at the team facilities and that the teams have followed proper health protocols. In college football news, 2 Texas Longhorn players tested positive for the coronavirus after returning to campus last week for voluntary workouts. Both players are self-isolated. In Major League Baseball news, the sign-stealing scandal may not be over yet. A federal judge has ordered that a 2017 Major League Baseball letter be unsealed, and reports are it links the Yankees to sign-stealing that could be even greater than both the Astros and Red Sox. This situation is related to a lawsuit from DraftKings Daily Sports players against Major League Baseball. The Sporting News' Joe Rivera reports that according to the sources, the Yankees, Texas Rangers, Royals, and Phillies are all mentioned in the report. The Yankees have now officially filed an appeal of the judge's decision. In other Major League Baseball news, the Major League Baseball players have turned down the owner's latest proposal for a restart to the season over the weekend of a 72-game schedule that included 8% prorated salaries. I'm James Pudger for ESPN San Antonio.
Injuries happen even during a crisis. When they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, sports injuries, dislocations, and sprains and strains. With 2 locations, they have extended hours Monday through Saturday, on-site x-ray, casting, and bracing. Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury with no urgent care or emergency room copay. Injured? Get to Ortho Now. Visit TSAOG.com/Ortho Now for more information. Jason Minix here for Alamo Water Softeners, a great locally owned, family-run business. Since day one, founder Alan Townsend's goal was to set the standard in the water softener industry. They're a great local company. They support other small local businesses. And at Alamo Water Softeners, their goal is to educate and guide their customers joyfully with a servant's heart while offering affordable water softeners. Learn more online at alamowatersofteners.com. Check out their Facebook page or call Alamo Water Softeners at 210-274-6122.
We're here to tell you about Boost Mobile's new upgraded network.
That's right. Stronger signal, faster speeds, and more coverage.
So now you can get everything you want faster, like Pitbull's music.
No, the new upgraded network means you can download music faster than ever before. It doesn't mean that it will make Pitbull songs faster.
Oh, so this isn't the song.
No, this is the song.
Well, this is embarrassing.
Step up with Boost Mobile's new upgraded network. Stronger signal, faster speeds, more coverage than before. Switch and get 4 unlimited lines for $25 per line per month and 4 free LG K51 phones. Access to upgraded network requires compatible device. New customers only. 4-line offer requires at least 1 port and activation from eligible carrier. Free phone limited to 1 per line while supplies last. Customers using more than 35 gigabytes of data during billing cycle may be deprioritized during times of congestion. Offers and coverage not available everywhere. Additional terms and restrictions apply. See boostmobile.com or retailer for full details.
Jay Farner here, CEO of Rocket Mortgage. Making the right financial decisions has never been more important. When you turn to Rocket Mortgage, we can help guide you to those right decisions now when they matter most. Mortgage rates are near historic lows, so now is a great time to call 8338-ROCKET. And if you need some extra money, a cash-out refinance could give you that financial boost you're looking for. Call today at 8338-ROCKET or go to rocketmortgage.com to learn more.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states and MLS number 3030.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents and Doug.
Limu, when we're not telling people that Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need, I've actually been moonlighting as a DJ. What? Check it! Here's the good part! Liberty, 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 liberty. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
That is the Blitz. Here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM. He's Jason Minix. I'm Rob Thompson. RJ Ochoa of the Saturday Morning Hangover and blogging the boys. James Pledger of the Hangover as well. We're going all the way to 7 o'clock. Thank you so much for joining us. RJ,
before we get into the stuff with Zeke and the Rona, 3 minutes ago, or as I update now, 5 minutes ago, Chuba Hubbard tweeted out a statement that he is making. He just put this on his Twitter. It's a video with him and Mike Gundy. Pledge, let me know when you have it ready. But the tweet is "Change is coming. I promise you that." And they're standing in front of a wall that says "Cowboy Culture," and it's Mike Gundy and you know his very upset and outspoken running back. As I stall, Pledge, let me know when it's ready. But you know he tweeted out, Hubbard tweeted out he wanted change, and he's getting it.
If you're just joining us, what we're talking about is a photo has surfaced of Mike Gundy over the weekend out at Lake Texoma hanging with the boys, wearing a shirt of the OAN network, one I had not heard of, but by Wikipedia's estimation, and of course we can certainly trust Wikipedia, it is a far right-wing kind of a conservative outlet that has been known for promoting things like COVID was invented in a North Carolina lab, and Mr. Floyd was an Antifa subtroverter long before any of this happened. So pretty out there kind of stuff. And Mike Gundy was wearing a shirt out there over the weekend. Chuba Hubbard, his star running back, took great exception to that, and rightfully so. If he has heard that, and it sounds like either there's a fix coming or there's a firing imminent. I'm not sure which way this is going to go, but I'm very interested to see, because Mike Gundy, the ball is in your court, sir. You only have a few minutes to retort, respond, and apologize, or your career at OSU will be finished. Let's hear what they had to say.
In light of today's tweet with the T-shirt I was wearing, I met with some players and realized it's a very sensitive issue with what's going on in today's society. And so we had a great meeting and made aware of some things that players feel like that can make our organization, our culture even better than it is here at Oklahoma State. And I'm looking forward to making some changes, and it starts at the top with me, and we got good days ahead.
I'll start off by first saying that I went about it the wrong way by
tweeting. I'm not someone that, has to, tweet something to make change. I should have went to him as a man, and I'm more about action. So that was bad on my part. But from now on, we're going to focus on bringing change, and that's the most important thing.
Well,
dapping it
not
up
an
at the end.
apology. Not an apology there, and I think a valid point that Chuba probably should have called his head coach before he retweeted. I think I agree with that, but I'm not sure that the required apology was part of that.
It's I don't know, a pleasant turn. It's not what I expected to have today, and especially at the end where I'm guessing and just guessing, part of that meeting was, if you got a problem with me, come to me and not Twitter. And then if you're still not happy, then go to your social media.
Now, Jason, as we talk about this, Jason, keep in mind that this wasn't just in response to Chuba Hubbard asking for change, considering he'd seen his coach wearing this right-wing T-shirt. Coach Gundy had also seen some tweets that were sent out by his school president that did not sound like an overwhelming, we're here to protect you, and this was this is something that we'll look at to fix. It was, I think, a shot fired over Gundy's bow, like, dude, the clock is ticking. You better have a retort and have a response to this, because if you don't, we'll take action.
But for Hubbard to be a part of a video made this quickly afterwards, I'm wondering if they were in those meetings when the school brass was making their tweets. It certainly seemed like Mike Gundy has responded to this in a big way. And when he says, some changes are going to start at the, and it starts at the top with me, and for Hubbard to tweet out, change is coming, I can promise you that in a matter of hours, this has circled very differently than we no, it ain't over.
He
seems to be circling in the right direction.
You better circle quick, just because you convinced a 20-year-old that your ideas were taken poorly, were misinterpreted. That's one thing, because this is a guy that has power over him. He's his coach. I'm very curious to see what the civic leaders that are around the Oklahoma State program, those that are adults, when they didn't hear an apology, we're going to have to hear some more to this, because he didn't say, I'm sorry, I didn't know. He just said, well, they're going to change. I'm not sure this is enough yet. Let's hope it is. I don't think he's a racist by any stretch, but I still think there's more price to be paid than convincing the player that plays for you, that is a young man that's finding his depth. That's not quite the same as apologizing for something that so obviously not only upset Chuba Hubbard, but some other parts of the NFL or the Oklahoma State football program. I don't think this is over yet. We're going to need to hear more. Drew Brees put the playbook out there. That's how you do it. You respond, you apologize, you throw yourself on the mercy of those that heard that and were offended, and then you provide an action plan to move forward. That's what you have to do. Now, they've told us about an action plan, but we don't know what that is. It's just change coming. You better delineate exactly, or this won't go away. RJ Ochoa joining us, he of Blogging the Boys. Strange day today, man. How did we find out that Zeke has tested positive for the coronavirus? Because Zeke did not let this out.
The fact
that's
not the lead story today is kind of nuts, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely true.
In a literal way, we found out via Ian Rappaport, who said he found out from Rocky Arsenault, Zeke's agent, and there was a 5-minute or so window when Zeke Elliott tweeted about HIPAA, seemingly inferring that his privacy was compromised, where people were responding in as many clever ways as they could say, dude, it was your agent, it was your agent, it was your agent. And Zeke Elliott, according to Zeke, when his agent was called, people knew, and his agent just confirmed the story. So, I'm not an expert on these matters, but it seems that either some sort of medical professional or somebody within the Cowboys who knew about this is the person who leaked it. But it was drawing a lot of comparisons to when Adam Schefter had the photo of Jason Pierre-Paul's medical records after his firework accident. What was that, 5 years ago now? That was
what are the ramifications of this?
God, he can't even count all those years on one hand, can he? It's been that many.
That was the same night that that the Clippers locked up DeAndre Jordan. By the way, I'll never forget that night. That was a wild night in social media when Mark Cuban was driving around.
Yep. So
in the broadest,
I was going to say, was Zeke tweeting out HIPAA, and then clarified, while his agent did confirm the story, he didn't break the story, but he did confirm the story because it was already out there. Do athletes live by a different HIPAA standard than the rest of us? And I mean, we get injury reports on a daily. We do an injury report every Tuesday here on the Blitz. I mean, players' injuries are newsworthy, and so
they allow it.
Who allows it? The players
player.
do. So if somebody were to give this information out, you know, kind of like the x-rays with the fingers, or kind of like this instance here. I mean, you know, we knew right away about Rudy Gobert. We knew he was the one that tested positive and shut down the NBA. And then we went back and looked like he had this, and look what he was doing on the media. You know, we know Brooklyn Nets, including Kevin Durant, tested positive. Is it? I don't know what I mean, but athletes, professional athletes, do live by a different HIPAA standard than the rest of us. We know about their injuries.
Well, keep in mind, like the NHL, they just go lower body injury. I mean, some leagues have decided that we're going to abide a little bit closer to HIPAA rules than others. But for the most part, the testing of positive, that's a very interesting. If the Cowboys leaked it, there are legal ramifications for this. If the Cowboys, if someone in the organization leaked it from there, certainly are some ramifications to this. I'm not sure where it came from, and we're not certainly saying the Cowboys did, but the news slipped, and Zeke is not happy with it. But on the broader scope, RJ, as he has tested positive, and we had some other Houston Texans testing positive, from those that you're talking with in the Cowboy subculture out there, there's no concern now that we're testing positive that maybe it'll slow down the NFL's efforts to regain and get going with a training camp in July.
I'm not trying to dodge the question by any means, but on a football-related note, NBC Philadelphia is reporting, because obviously we have a lot of interest in what happens to the Philadelphia Eagles. And again, not to completely dodge the question, but according to them, Philadelphia Eagles starting right guard Brandon Brooks tore his Achilles today and is out for the season.
That's a major blow.
So what about the question now?
Oh, well, again, I mean, it's his Achilles or Zeke's Rona. Tell me the HIPAA violation. Well, you know, I mean, we know about Sam Darnold's mono from a year ago. I just, you know, if you're a pro athlete, hard to get upset when people let out injury or illness. I mean, because it goes with the territory. Zeke is probably embarrassed that we all know he's got something, but you know, having the Rona is nothing to be embarrassed about. It's not like he's got syphilis or something. I mean, you know, none of us can. I mean, you know, if it was something like that, I'd understand him saying, "Dude, how do you let that out?"
Yeah, I'm a little concerned that got out. Yeah, let's all thank God that's not the case.
But I think with Rona, it is a little bit different because none of us know how or when. Turn this into a positive here, Zeke. How did you get better? What did you do? And you know, be the, you know, kind of like Sean Payton was. It can happen to anybody. Tom Hanks, be that. Don't scream HIPAA at me, Zeke.
And Von Miller as well. Tell us the process and donate the plasma. RJ, it's been over a week. I haven't had the pleasure of enjoying a question. You got a good one?
Dude.
Of course.
Oh, that's a tease and a half. When we get back, it's time for RJ's question of the day right here on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
Jason Minix here for Pax Financial Group. At Pax Financial, they know you want to be financially prepared. And in order to do that, you need trusted guidance. It could be time to have Pax Financial Group do a checkup on your portfolio. Is it concentrated in the international markets, especially China? Call Pax Financial Group at 210-881-5700. If you were recently laid off, before you withdraw from your IRA, Double check with Pax Financial Group. They can help guide your long-term decisions. If you're thinking about taking Social Security, are you uncertain? It could be time to have Pax double check your numbers. At Pax, they believe everybody deserves to be hopeful about their future. They understand what it's like to want to protect your hard-earned money, which is why they've been entrusted by thousands of families over a decade to provide financial guidance. Connect with Pax Financial Group. 210-881-5700 is the phone number, 881-5700, or go to paxfinancialgroup.com, PAXfinancialgroup.com. Investment advisory services offered by Pax Financial Group, LLC.
Getting ready for the hangover without the headache. The Saturday Morning Hangover. James Pledger and RJ Ochoa, Saturday mornings 9 to 11. 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
This Father's Day, we're celebrating Dad with more than a new tie. We're celebrating him with food to fuel his bold side. With the bold taste of Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds, you can get them in-store, online at HEB. And now through Father's Day, when you download the coupon at southernrecipesmallbatch.com, you'll be entered to win 3 months of pork rinds. Go online for your coupon at southernrecipesmallbatch.com. Southern Recipe Small Batch. It's a different kind of rind.
If you're a bacon lover, I've got great news for you. This is Michael Kilbasa with Kilbasa Smoked Meats. Our authentic dry-cured bacon is now available at grocery stores near you. We make it the old-fashioned way with the finest pork bellies in our legendary spice blend. We don't pump it full of water or chemicals like other brands. All you get is thick, savory slices of delicious bacon. I hope you'll give it a try, and if it's not the best bacon you've ever eaten, I'll give you your money back. Kilbasa Smoked Meats, slow-crafted in Texas since 1949.
Napa know-how. Father's Day knickknacks. That funny mug, ironic tie, or worse, IOU coupon books. It's time to get yourself something you want, Dad, like a Craftsman half-inch corded impact wrench for $99.99. It's the perfect gift to give to yourself. And while you're here, don't forget to shop all our great deals on Craftsman tools. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating Napa Auto Parts stores while supplies last. Offer ends 6/30/20.
Wheels on road. Hardwater slowly strips the color from your clothes, and they won't last as long as they should. Even more important, Hardwater also damages your plumbing pipes. Wheels All Pro has the cure.
M18580.
It is the Blitz here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM on the go at ESPNSA.com. Make sure you go there on a regular. You can watch our broadcast live every day from 4 to 7. I want to thank my co-hosts and my friends for filling in for me the last week. Difficult time in the Thompson family, made much easier by my friends and co-hosts here on ESPN San Antonio. Thanks, RJ. Thank you so much, Jason. And thank you, James, for filling the void as I was gone for the last week. And I'm so excited. It's time for RJ's question of the day.
Oh, we're just going? Okay.
We'll just dive right in, baby.
Okay.
We got time.
What do you call the apparatus that you put above your hand that tells time?
A watch.
Right. Okay. Now, what do you call that same apparatus when it hangs on a wall?
A clock.
Okay. So how come when you have the little thing that's on a chain that goes inside your pants or your shorts, it's called a pocket watch? It's not a watch. The watch is what wraps around your wrist. It's a pocket clock.
No, the watch is the size of what it is. A watch is something you keep on your person. A clock is something that goes on the wall.
I don't think that doesn't jive with me.
You know what? That is a worthy. Why is a watch called a watch and not a wrist clock?
Yeah, that too.
Now that you put it together, what exactly is a watch?
That's what I'm saying. Like, why change the name? You don't call something on the wall and say, "Look at what does the watch say on the wall?" You know what I mean? Like,
what do I call
clock.
it? What do I call when I check the time on my phone?
People
Am
call
I looking
that
at
the
a watch or a
clock.
clock?
People call
That's
that
a clock. It's not called a phone watch. It's a clock.
Well,
it's as small as my phone.
But if I'm timing you in the 40, I'm using a stopwatch, not a stop clock.
And also, why is it called a stopwatch? Because you start it before you stop it.
Because you stop it instantly.
And you're
many
pausing it,
worthy
not stopping
questions that will keep me up tonight. And we will
Tick,
respond
tick, tick,
again.
tick, tick,
Hey,
tick,
thanks for
tick,
hanging on the
tick,
Blitz.
tick,
We'll see you in
tick, tick,
21 hours.
Looking for the latest on the WWE and wrestling news? Well, we've got just the thing for you.
But The Rock is cooking.
Down for the Count with Brandon Medina.